Welcome to the Wisconsin State Fair Park, the Milwaukee Mile, tonight for the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series Bofanna 150. My name is Rishav Khosla, joined in the booth by David Westergreen, bringing you all the action tonight. Right now, we are qualifying, getting underway at this short, flat racetrack. David, you were telling me before we started here, you absolutely adore this racetrack. Tell me what some of the challenges these drivers are going to be facing here tonight.
Clone, if you will, very flat surface and one single groove. You can maybe make two, but the play is going to be how well you can get through these corners. They're very long, sweeping, difficult to get onto the gas. You have to really be careful exiting the corner. You can really spin out coming off that corner. It'll get very loose on you under power. But the patience required to go through these corners without getting on the gas too much is that'll actually slow you down is going to be a big challenge for these drivers. Turn one is a little bit choppy, almost is a third turn in there. So these guys are going to have to kind of apex their cars twice through that corner. It'll be a challenge for sure, but if you can get through there fast, this car kind of glues to the track once you get off the corner, and it flies down the straightaway. These guys will be pushing the rev limiters on these cars and really going hard, I think, all day.
Well, it's something that we're not necessarily used to seeing Cup cars here on this racetrack. The Xfinity and Truck Series raced here up until 2009, but it's been a hot second since we've had really any racing going on this racetrack. Once again, one of the tracks we're getting to run because of all of these tracks preserved by iRacing. The last series, as far as I can tell, to race here was IndyCar back in 2015. So top-level stock cars racing on this Milwaukee Mile, on this flat oval here. It's going to be an interesting experience here to see how this races.
Yeah, and these guys are going to be going for, these guys are going to be going for the inside line all the way around. It should run very similarly to the way it ran in real life. I'm not sure if anybody maybe ran or watched the old Milwaukee Mile races. Since we've been running it, I've gone back and watched a couple of them. Provides good racing, and it's definitely a track that can have a green flag stretch throughout. With the loose condition on the exits of these corners, I anticipate we'll have a few cautions tonight from maybe some solo incidents, guys kind of bouncing it off the inside wall, especially on the front straightaway here. If they can do that, then we will get some restarts, but otherwise it should be kind of a mean and green track, very difficult to pass. Track position will be very important.
And well, speaking of track position, with just 30 seconds left in qualifying, right now it is advantage to that 56 car of Tate Lytle, beating out who many would probably consider the favorite for tonight, Ryan Lutz, not just for his infamous prowess here on these short, flat racetracks, but also for the week he's had so far building up to this race. We've had races from Sunday night all the way until here, which is Wednesday night, and Ryan Lutz has been victorious in all of them.
Yeah, Ryan Lutz is going for the week sweep. For Elite Racing this week. He will have won Sunday in Trucks. That would have been at Auto Club. Then Monday night in Xfinity cars at Iowa, and then tonight in Cup cars at Milwaukee. So 3 different tracks plus a win in our special race yesterday at Gateway in the Trucks. If Ryan Lutz is able to win 4 straight races, I mean, that is really a special task, and he'll kind of be the story all afternoon here as we go for we see if he can make that happen.
Absolutely. Well, just as we normally have here at the start of these races, especially when we've got upwards of 43 cars joining our lobbies, we're going to have a heat race underway. This should go fairly quickly, but while they're running, this has zero effect on the starting lineup, as tonight we do have under 43 cars set to make the start. So therefore, all of these cars racing in this heat should be making that start. We're going to run over to our ad from our great premier sponsor here of the Elite Racing League's Rich Mar Florist.
Richmar Florist makes every day a special day, from weddings and large events to that little something for any occasion. Richmar Florist has the perfect floral expression, and they're open online 24/7 at richmarflorist.com. Everywhere, every day. Richmar's 2 retail locations offer a fantastic selection of floral creations, gifts, and home decor. Book your free consultation in our showroom for your special event needs, and visit us online at richmarflorist.com today.
Welcome back, everyone. This will be the Bofanna 150, and we want to give a nod to Bofanna for jumping on board and sponsoring this race. Bofanna was founded by Manny and Mark, 2 characters from the Midwest that have been friends for decades. The 2 families have a long shared love for creating and consuming great food. Their inspiration for this ice cream was the creamy, full-flavored treat they enjoyed as kids that was not filled with artificial additives or diluted by being pumped full of air. Instead, Bofanna ice cream is made with real cream and big pieces of fruit or chocolate.
Man, it was a warm day here in Indiana, which was nice, and I could certainly have done with some Bofanna, and maybe you could ship it over here in some crates with the help of our friends at C2 Freight Resources. They offer complete freight management services, and they're ready to meet your needs today, as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping of every type of goods, from perishable foods like Bofanna to office equipment. Whatever you need to ship, they have access to the necessary equipment to help you make that happen. Also, check out their EDI services, electronic data interchange services, which allow shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. Check out C2 Freight Resources, a proud premier sponsor of the Elite Racing Leagues. And we're already on the final lap of this heat race, almost ready to get this main event underway.
I like the idea of kind of fitting our bets in right at the beginning of the event, and then we can bring you guys some straight racing for the rest of the evening here. These guys are just pacing around trying to get through the heat here necessary in case we have more than 43 entrants to these races.
Absolutely, yeah. Just an important thing to have for us, just sometimes how it ends up working here in iRacing. But Rusty Capel comes across in first position there in that number 9 car. We'll get all of these guys off the track and get the main field gridded up in just a second here. Just stick with us, as we should probably bring in the guy who we'll be talking to at various points throughout this race. Let's see if we can ring in Brandon Key, driver of that number 25 car.
Should we start with the command first?
You're right. We should actually, and with that, we'll give it a couple seconds, allow for some cars to load, and then we'll head over to the command. Appreciate that, David. Slowly, the cars will start gridding up, and we'll show you guys that starting grid as it appears. But first things first, here is the command from our sponsor, Richmar Florist.
Racers, start your engines!
Big fan of that. Awesome. Great for them to send in the videos, and we're going to keep having new videos from sponsors in the future. But while we get our starting grid pulled up here, let's see if we can call in our in-race reporter, Brandon Key.
Get him in here. Brandon, you got a copy, buddy?
Brandon Key, you got a copy? Hey.
What's going on there, guys?
Hey, Brandon. Not sure quite where you start, but how you feeling tonight? Kind of take us through the field on your way up to the front tonight.
Yeah, I'm starting P24, which I really screwed up the qualifying effort there, but hopefully just going to save some tires and see if I can move up slowly and surely, and if we can get a green flag run.
All right, man. Well, I think they might actually be bringing you guys to green here pretty soon, so we're gonna let you run here real quick, as these tracks can, these pacing laps can go pretty quick here. Best of luck, and we'll hopefully bring you in here after another couple of laps here in this race. But have fun out there.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, Brandon Key, our in-race reporter, and already at that green flag, and it's Tate Lytle underway early here, but Ryan Lutz not going to let him get away. He goes for that move on the outside. You said the bottom line would prevail, but that's not going to stop Ryan Lutz here. He's going to try and get the move off the corner, but doesn't quite have that run there. It's Tate Lytle still leading the way.
If there's anybody you can hang with Ryan Lutz this week, it is going to be Tate Lytle at this racetrack. He's very, very good at this flat track at Milwaukee. As we see one car getting big loose there coming off turn 4, that will be the trouble spot, I imagine, throughout the night.
Absolutely, yeah. We're seeing different approaches already to the corners. You saw there Ethan Burrell a little bit tentative heading into turn 1, and that lost him, or is losing him a position as Matthew Weeks there, and the number 11 car is around on the back straightaway, and that's going to bring out our first caution of the night. That's your Daytona 500 champion, Matthew Weeks, in the 11 car. Looks like he might have just lost it there, and the 91 car as well there. Brody Moore seems to have been involved in that. We'll head over to the iRace Online replay and see what happened there with the 91 and 11 cars.
Yeah, frustrating night early for Matthew Weeks already. He had asked me before the race if we would make sure to cover him as he kind of climbed his way through the field, and well, there you go. Spun it out. Might have been a little help there from Colin Fern, but I don't know that he helped him all that much.
And looks like the Brody Moore incident was completely separate there. He just hit that outside wall off of 2 there and bounced to the inside.
Maybe overcorrected slightly, seeing the stopped car underneath him there. But doesn't look like the 91 is too badly damaged, and Brody Moore will be able to continue. Looks also like Alex Balvans also had an incident on the start of the race, but he's back there without a front nose as well.
Yeah, Alec Balvin showing as already down pit road 1, so yeah, that's an interesting situation there. Not sure what happened with that 5 car. We could potentially go back and take a look again at the iRace Online replay. So only about a lap and a half there underway before we had that first caution, and yeah, very, very interesting situation there, as actually it was coming off of that infamous turn 4 that you were talking about. So here is this number 5 car. You'll see him in the center of your screen there. Just gets it loose off of turn 4 and ends up spinning straight into pit road.
Wow, somewhat fortunate there that he didn't hit the cones and really KO that 5 car. Able to kind of pull right into his pit stall and get some help, and then the caution came out right after, keeping him on the lead lap. But that 5 car may be fairly well injured and not as fast as it was before. Yeah, he may be hurt badly for the rest of the day.
Yeah, another driver we've seen just coming off pit road right now, Chuck Sweeting here. Chuck had a pretty good qualifying, if I remembered correctly there. So a little bit. Was he in the heat? He was in the heat. Yeah. That's where I saw him before. So yeah, so maybe just not a great qualifying there from Chuck, and maybe involved in that again, visiting pit road. So Alec Balvans, Chuck Sweeting, Brody Moore, all the cars that have visited pit road already, just 4 laps into this event. So bit surprising there, but we should expect a nice long run here after that with these guys now starting to double up. We'll be heading back to green this time by.
Turn 4 has already claimed 1 victim, and turn 2 another. We'll have to see if these guys can keep it clean for a few laps here. I think they will be able to. The car does even out after a couple of laps with cold tires. Plus the slippery surface definitely provide a very treacherous transition down the straightaways.
Absolutely. I think for the likes of Matthew Weeks and Brody Moore, the thing they have to look forward to at least is it doesn't look like there's much damage on those cars at all, just spinning it out to bring out that caution. But they're going to have some work to do to get up to fight with these guys, Tate Lytle and Ryan Lutz. This pace truck is going to be peeling off down to pit road. No, we're actually going to have one more lap here, as I don't believe we've got the whole gridded up quite yet. We did have them 2x2 in the front here, but not everybody seemed to be ready at the back there. So looks like we're going around one more time here as everybody just gets a little bit sorted here. And then we'll go racing. David Tooker, Marcus Frucknicht on that second row. Look out for those guys. They could certainly play a spoiler in this race for both Tate Lytle and Ryan Lutz.
David Tooker loves him a loose race car. That 19 car can really wheel it, especially when that car starts to get sideways. He loves it when that car gets loose. So this might play right into David Tooker's hands. We haven't really seen much speed from him so far this year. Looking forward to seeing if that 19 can really put it together. He had some computer issues at Daytona. So, and then Damian Leininger too, trying to kind of shake off some bad luck Keenans there running 5th.
Yeah, I was going to say Damian Leininger had a great practice run, came out, I think, second or third at the end of practice. Didn't quite get it together in qualifying, but he's also been having computer issues, so look out for that 12 car to be fast, but potentially unreliable there, as he's had blinking issues the past 2 nights we've been racing here. But the pace truck peels off, and Tate Lytle is underway already. A quick jump for him, and that might even let David Tooker on past Ryan Lutz, and Marcus Fruchnick as well on the inside of his teammate Ryan Lutz, hung out to dry on that outside line.
David Tooker is working in the same call as Tate Lytle, so I'm sure Tate counted down so that Tooker could go with him, and now that gives Tate Lytle a 1-car buffer between himself and probably the fastest car here in that 36 of Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, Jared Rexing, though, up high there in turn 3 and 4. That's going to allow Ethan Burrell to get on by, and though not quite yet, Rexing's going to fight back on the outside line there. Rexing's been strong the last couple of races we've had, but there you go, our first blink of the race, and that was Damian Leininger. We said look out for that 12 car once again. He's been having issues. He's got that new computer arriving tomorrow, just a day too late for him potentially. But we'll keep an eye on that 12 car and the blinking issues he's been having this week. Looks like they're going to be continuing here tonight.
Battle for second no longer. Ryan Lutz back into second spot. Didn't take him very long to dismiss David Tooker, and he brings Marcus Fruchnick right with him.
Yeah, David Tooker losing 2 positions there, but that's just allowed that little battle there for second position. Oh, it was Jared Rexing. Goes way high through 1 and 2, but saves it, keeps it off the wall there. He's going to keep it running, loses some positions, but man, oh man, that was scary there for old Jared Rexing in the number 10 Nesquik car. Good thing he keeps it pointed in the right direction and no damage there.
You know what's funny is he's falling back to his best friend from last night, Colin Fern. Him and Jared Rexing had a number of run-ins in our special race brought to you by the WWT Raceway. Rexing and Fern crashed while running second and third, and then bumped each other again for a top 5 spot. Both wound up in the top 10, but those guys are definitely not fans of each other. Wouldn't expect it to carry over into tonight, but you know, certainly funny to see the 10 and the 86 running near each other once again.
Yeah, but in the middle of those two, a car to watch throughout the night, I think, is going to be Tyler Fode. He didn't qualify very well here, and hasn't qualified very well really at these short tracks recently. Did the same thing here or at Iowa on Monday night. But he is something else when it comes to saving tires, but it might not be necessary as the caution flag is out. We've got a car around in turn 1, I believe. We'll head back and see if we can spot anything there. Not quite sure. Let's
There's a bunch of damage on the Josh Personette car here in the 18. Looks like anyway.
Potentially, yeah. Let's head back to that iRace Online replay, see what we can find.
Perhaps not. That might just be the way his scheme is designed from far away, but
Yeah, it is interesting. There are sometimes situations like that that could potentially bring out a caution. The issue is just trying to figure out who brought it out, and I think after a little bit of searching here, I found it is the number 91 car, Brody Moore. So the second time, and it looks like it's going to be a self-spin from here. So there you see on the inside that number 91 Spotify car, Brody Moore, heading down into turn 1, just gets it loose on the entry and spins it in to pit road, and might have just rejoined the track a little bit there slowly. That brings out the caution. That's enough to bring out the caution there. Interesting.
it's funny. You know, last night we had manual cautions on, and race control opted not to throw yellows for a number of incidents, such as those. So it looks like our in-race reporter, Brandon Key, one of the cars electing to come down pit road. A lot of other guys kind of dividing up on pit strategy now after 13 laps, trying to maybe get off strategy with the leaders and give themselves a fighting chance to swing strategy their way. Key, Josh Robin, Corey Abbott, Michael Goodman.
Yeah, 13 laps into this run, though, maybe only about 10, not even, laps done under green flag conditions here. That's an interesting tire strategy call here. But tires are going to be important. I mean, this race is very much like a short track. You're going to want to have the freshest rubber available to you. This could be advantageous for Key here if he's trying to pick up stage points as well. Or, excuse me, not stage points. We won't be having that in this series. Getting all of my stuff a little bit mixed up here. It's been a long week up here in the booth.
Should we bring up Brandon Key and see maybe what he was thinking with that pickoff?
Absolutely. Let's try and do that. Let's try and ring up the driver there of that number 25 Nichols Plumbing car. Great looking scheme there. can always rely on Brandon Key to have some pretty good looking paint schemes. But yeah, ring him up here, David.
All right, Brandon, you got us.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
So we were just gonna kind of bring you in and ask you what was the thought process with this pit call, and did your teammate Colin Fern do it too, trying to get off sequence with the leaders here?
Yeah, we figured our tires were a little worn there. We lost 4/10 of a lap, so if we can get a long run here, we should be able to work our way up to the field rather quickly.
All right. Well, it looks like just at least here on our view, there's a little bit of damage on the back of that 25 car there. Involved in any of these early incidents that have been going on around you?
Yeah, I just got bodied from behind. I think somebody made a mistake there, kidding up, trying to talk, and lost the attention.
Oof. All right. Well, good luck here, man. Going green again.
All right, Tate Lytle once again with the jump up front. This time, though, it's Marcus Frucknicht behind him on the inside row, and that means that Ryan Lutz is not immediately swallowed up there, though he is going to have to race side by side with his teammate, though Tate Lytle looks like he's about to be swamped by some Lake Norman Motorsports cars. Almost gets in the middle of a three-wide sandwich there, but Marcus being on the inside there as he passes Ryan Lutz means that Lutz hasn't been able to attack the 56, but Marcus now, an open entry car for Lake Norman Motorsports, not one of their charters, is now challenging for the lead on the inside of Tate Lytle. He should have the preferred line heading into turn 1.
Great move by Marcus Frucknicht here. Very aggressive on this early restart as David Tooker swings wide, loses a couple of spots, but it is Frucknicht going for the lead on Tate Lytle. Tate a little high off the exit, but he's hanging with him. That's what Milwaukee provides, is kind of an opportunity to hold your own on that outside line, though maybe not make any passes.
Yeah, and also let's see if Marcus can bring his teammate Ryan Lutz with him, though. It looks like that 13 car is already cleared now for the lead, and Marcus Frucknicht leads lap 16, takes over the lead from Tate Lytle. Needs to try and almost back him up because he's got two teammates behind that 56 Toyota that he can work with, but also look just behind them as well. The 15 and 64 car teammates for Richmar Florist Esports also showing up. So right now Tate Lytle is alone with teammates from Ford and Chevrolet fighting against him.
Yep, Ryan Lutz wants by too. That 36 car trying to be aggressive, hasn't led a lap yet. Now Lutz trying the outside lane. This 36 definitely the car to watch out for, as the 12 of Damian Leininger, like we've kind of addressed, those computer woes. Chad Frankenfield in the back.
And Jeff Green
around.
Jeff Green,
bring up the caution.
absolutely it does. Jeff Green is around, Brandon Key around, so two teammates there for Ruthless Motorsports. Richard Pine has to check up there a little bit. The 86 of Colin Fern, I think all three Ruthless Motorsports cars there involved in some capacity in that wreck. That's brutal for those guys.
Oh man, it looked like Jeff might have even gotten a little bit of help from David Tooker there. We'll have to kind of take a look on the replay. Good thing it is no damage, it looks like, from any of those guys. I think Fern kept it off the wall. Key just slid sideways. Everyone should be good to go. They might just need to go get some more tires, which again makes that Key call earlier maybe a little bit riskier now that he's kind of looped it and flat spotted those tires.
Yeah, here we go. We'll take a look, and it is just maybe a little bit of a nudge there from David Tooker. Guys start diving out around him. There you see Brandon Key just spins it a little bit there, checking up, but no damage there on that car. And maybe a slight tap there on the 86 car, Colin Fern. So no damage, I think, but maybe some flat-spotted tires there for Jeff Green in that 38. He's going to want to probably come in and replace those.
Great job by the field not to just pile into a car sitting sideways in the middle of the corner. Yeah, big props to those guys. Everyone woeing up, giving each other room. Good job by our elite racing drivers.
And a couple of cars on pit road. The most notable entry we've got on pit road, can't see him here, but there you see the 56 car of Tate Lytle, your pole sitter for the race. He's making that strategy call. The Lake Norman Chevrolets and the Richmar Florist Fords are staying out. Even his teammates, David Tooker, Joshua Clark, Ethan Burrell, all staying out, but Tate Lytle making the call here to go a little bit off strategy and try something different here to get that lead back. I like this call from Tate Lytle.
You know, I love being off strategy and pulling a good strategy call, but we just saw it not work out for Brandon Key. He got in behind all these cars, and it just didn't. He just got spun out. So, as much as I like going off strategy and attempting something, this may really backfire for Tate Lytle. He's losing a lot of track position, and really only gaining about 20 laps in fuel. That won't be enough.
No, it won't be enough here. We're estimating about 85 or so laps here on fuel is what I've heard some of the drivers say. But yeah, I think the biggest disadvantage for Tate is going to be the track position. He's got to be able to make moves here and hope that that 20 lap difference on his tires versus the guys in front is going to be enough of a pace differential here. We'll see. We'll keep track on this 56 car. He's going to be an interesting story to watch moving forward through the field here. But again, I like the strategy. I think he didn't have much more for those Lake Norman Motorsports. He was clearly outnumbered there up in the front of the pack, waiting for maybe teammates to join them here. So try something a little bit different. Try and catch them off guard. We'll see how this all plays out for Tate Lytle.
I do love a good strategy race, though. You know, last night we saw Ryan Lutz in this 36 car. He was running a truck last night, obviously, but he stayed out, and the entire field came in behind him, and then Lutz was able to hold them off with old tires and win the race anyway. Just a marvelous job of driving yesterday, but it provided that necessary strategy call that really makes racing itself just a great sport. And, you know, even iRacing is kind of one of the versions of racing that we're able to partake in right now, especially during this pandemic time. So pit strategy, love it. And we got a new leader here, one of these guys that hasn't really been with the Elite Racing League all that long, in Marcus Fruchtnick, though he has been around for, I think, 2 years, just on and off, though. He hasn't been a full-time driver.
Yeah, but when he's taken part, Marcus has been extremely impressive. He's shown a lot of pace. Though I think in the coming weeks, or in the past few weeks or past few races especially, the thing that he's struggled most with is just adapting once again to the Elite Racing rules. We've got a couple of little rules that maybe aren't necessarily super obvious that he's come afoul of once or twice, especially in that Sunday night race, at Auto Club. So hopefully learned his lesson there, but right now leading the way at the Milwaukee Mile and hoping he can get that job done here. One of those open cars, but a paid full-time entry, Marcus Fruchtnick in the 13.
Best friends also in third and fourth, and Damian Leininger and Chad Frankenfield. Those guys have a big history.
Yeah, and how about Damian Leininger as a backup almost, if possible? Where I don't know if anybody's gonna want to get too close to that 12 car if he's blinking on the track. So certainly could favor the Lake Norman Motorsports cars. But look at the jump there already for Marcus Fruchtnick, for Ryan Lutz there. There we go. You see Chad Frankenfield almost checking up a little bit and almost having Andrew Rinker in the 64 car come into the back of him, just because of how that blinking car, it's an unknown there when the car disappears on the track.
Big swath of cars in the mid-pack there. Front seems to have evened out single file, but then in the back of the field, oh my, I had guys, drop into the apron coming off turn 3 trying to get spots and get what they can in this restart.
Yeah, great battling going on here. Josh Adams of the number 95, your Daytona 500 pole sitter, trying to work on Hank Steinmiller in the 63 car. Not quite there in that 09 car as well of Johnny Thomas, the Manscaped car that we loved seeing last week there also in front of these guys. They seem to have single-filed a little bit right now, but a little bit further back, you might notice that 11 car here, Matthew Weeks here, spun on the second lap of the race. They're coming out of turn 2 there. Not sure if it was assisted or if it was on his own, but he's already recovered up into P16. So forward momentum here for the 11 car of Matthew Weeks. Doing a good job so far.
Matthew Weeks, it looks like there was some assistance getting him around. There's a little bit of damage on the back bumper of that 11 machine, but Weeks doing a great job moving back towards the front. And I've got my eye on this car right here, the number 1 of Ryan Gavel. He started mid-pack, but was one of the faster cars in practice, and these Lake Norman guys are just all moving to the front. You got to watch out for these guys whenever you go to one of these races. Gavel, Hank Steinmiller, Bodie, they're all very, very quick, and they'll probably be up there joining Marcus, Ryan, and Damian at the front of the field.
Yeah, another car there that's standing out to me right now. A little bit of a different scheme than we're used to seeing him in, but Gerald Campbell here with this beautiful-looking 31 diecast dude scheme. I think we talked about it last week. The diecast dude always has these amazing paint schemes that they end up running. Obviously, last year with that Jimmy Johnson tribute scheme, but even this year, the 31 schemes have been impressive. And once again, another great one here for that 31 car of Gerald Campbell, right now running in the 13th position.
We do award a paint scheme for the race each time out, and for me, it's one of those two cars right there, the 1 or the 31. You can take your pick. Those guys are running flashy schemes tonight. But Gerald throws it in there on Ryan Gavel and takes away the spot. Great pass.
Aggressive move there from your 2019-2020 season champion, Gerald Campbell. It's been a while for him since he's been in victory lane here in the Cup Series, but aggressive moves like that is going to potentially help him get back up there. He's looking strong here. Look out for this 31 car. That car is really, really good here in corner center and corner exit by the looks of it.
Looks like he has fresh tires as well, if my numbers
yes.
are right there. So I think this car is maybe got a little more grip entering the corners, and that's what's allowing him to ride the bottom lane and move up past these guys. Another one who has it is Jared Rexing in the 10 car, the Nesquik machine back there as well.
Yeah, it's I mean still a good call there, and we're seeing, even though it's about a 15 lap difference this time around. So he pitted on, I think, that second caution rather than I think it was the second caution there. So a little bit off, but not as far off as some of the other drivers there. But Gerald Campbell, yeah, potentially with some great options available to him, and right now showing pretty good speed here. He's the first car who's pitted in so far this race.
Oh yeah, I think Gerald may be getting some extra track position from this. This run has gone on a little bit longer, so I think that we'll see the advancements of this 31 car, as well as some of the other guys like Tate Lytle, who will have fresh tires. Another one will have him is Jeff Green, Brandon Key as well in the 25 car in Race Reporter. So we'll have to check the advancements of those guys with fresh tires, but they will also have one less set come crunch time in this race.
Yeah, update on Tate Lytle in that 56 car. He's currently third of the drivers who have pitted in, currently running in P17 here, just passing Josh Adams there, who's been struggling a little bit on this latest run, but trying to get to the bumper of his teammate Matthew Weeks. Matthew has not been down pit road yet. As we
I think Gerald just got sideways there. Might have lost the spot, but I think he's got it back.
Yeah, looks okay there in position tracking. I think he just went to the inside there. Might have been looking on the car in front there. Though actually he has lost some time there to Hank Steinmiller. So yeah, definitely maybe a little bit loose there on that front straightaway. Almost fell back into the clutches of Ryan Gavel, but no positions lost for Gerald Campbell.
Yep. Gerald's, we're just keeping our eye on these guys. The cars with fresh tires moving forward, certainly going to be something to keep our eye on. But from what I've watched on the scoring monitor here, Ryan Lutz not really able to eat into the Marcus Frucknick lead.
Yeah, not quite. He's he last lap around he was about 0.05 of a second faster, which is, I mean, such a small detail there. That gap is around half a second. So not real significant gains there for Ryan Lutz. One thing I did want to talk about though is potentially it was that going loose there, but Gerald Campbell's lap times are not that much faster than the guys around him, like you'd expect him to be on effectively 13 lap newer tires there. So it could potentially be a situation where the tires hit a wall and kind of just stop gaining speed or stop losing speed there, as you're seeing Ryan Gavel now coming up to the back of this 31 car. Ryan Gavel hasn't pitted yet, so this effectiveness of these new tires might already have worn off.
Yeah, I think maybe the grip that you're gaining isn't necessarily within the lap times. I think it maybe just allows you to make those passes. We saw Gerald, drive it in hard, entering turn one. The lower you enter, the better at this racetrack, and Gerald was able to stick it right down on the inside groove, kind of throw it into the corner, complete the pass before ever getting back to the throttle, exiting these corners. And these corners are long and sweeping. It takes a while to get back into the throttle without spinning this car out. So these guys are having to be very patient, and having that extra grip entering the corner is definitely the key to making this car go a little bit faster. But once that grip wears off, yeah, Gerald's just going to kind of be stuck here, and he's going to have to be patient.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Right now, staying ahead there of Ryan Gavel so far. You might be seeing those puffs of smoke there on the screen, and that is still that 12 car of Damian Leininger, even on our timing and scoring, showing that he's appearing and disappearing every now and then, as Jared Rexing with a great launch off of turn 4 there is attacking Ryan Gavel and might slide on by there. That's one of those fresh tires like you were talking about, just being able to make those aggressive moves. But yeah, that 12 car of Damian Leininger, he's fallen back from the two leaders, Marcus Frucknick and Ryan Lutz, but the blinking issue seems to be prevailing, as he's still disappearing every now and then on timing and scoring and leaving those puffs of smoke that you might see just traces of here on the screen.
Damian able to kind of manage that out in a spot by himself, running third. Chad Frankenfield not really able to get close to him, though. He's running right there with Andrew Rucker. I believe he might even be under fire.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of battle here. Teammates at Richmar Florist Esports going at it. Andrew Rucker looking for a way past Chad Frankenfield. Both of them just trying to hang on here with Damian Leininger and those Lake Norman Motorsports cars, who are right now just dominating the early stages of this race. But Andrew Rucker right now looking strong on this long run, trying to see if he can make a move on Chad. You can see that nose kind of looking around through turns 1 and 2, seeing if there's any place where he can make up time on that 15 car in front of him.
Yeah, this is our last season's champion is Chad Frankenfield. He's the kind of the head of the league. Andrew Rucker, certainly someone who ruffles feathers from time to time, and doing a really good job, though, running 5th today, but certainly putting the pressure on Chad right now, not really allowing him to breathe running in the top 5, nor save his tires at all. You know, I'll have to wonder if Chad might try to let Rucker go at some point and move in behind him and kind of keep going. You don't want Rucker to just drive it in there and dump you. Rucker certainly won't mean to do that, but when you're running that close to somebody, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Rucker, Chad, they're both teammates here. They're probably in the same chat talking about this stuff. So I'm sure this discussion's being had, and those two are racing each other just as hard as they'd like to. And potentially, if anything gets a little bit too much, I'm sure they'll be able to sort something out here. But still a great battle going on here for the 4th position if Andrew Rucker can get by. But Chad Frankenfield strong off of turn 2 there. He's able to gap this 64 car. I think off of turn 4 is where Rucker is a little bit better, and maybe just in general an entrance to corners where we really see the advantage in the 64 car.
And that means that Rucker is really driving the car into the corner a lot harder. You could see the 64 fall off at the end of the run because he's using up more tires and more equipment.
Absolutely, we'll tighten up the tire as you tighten up the car as you continue to just wear down that front right tire, as Rucker might be doing generally. If you try and be quick off, you're leaning a little bit more on that rear right tire, so they can result in very different handling cars there towards the end of the run based on just how you drive them around a track like this. This battle for 9th position is raging on, and it's a great one here. Johnny Thomas leading Hank Steinmiller and Jared Rexing. Thomas and Steinmiller both on old tires from the start of this race. Rexing with those fresh ones, closing in the gap to make this a nice little 3-way scrap here. Johnny Thomas seems like he might just be holding on a little bit as the 63 and 10 have closed in.
You know, you look, and Jared Rexing and Tate Lytle have both pulled past Gerald Campbell in the 31 car, so Campbell maybe overdrove the equipment a little bit there early in the run and really wore out those tires. Now he's back under fire from Tyler Fode, someone who he blew past early in this run.
Yeah, we kind of saw it coming off of turn 4, and maybe we'll see it coming off of turn 2 again, but Gerald Campbell really struggling with putting power down in this 31 car. I saw him having to correct a couple of times here. Running this higher line might help him just a little bit, but yeah, maybe, I mean, just like we were talking about there, you burn different parts of the car here depending on how you drive it. Gerald Campbell might have burned off those rear tires.
Big battle right in front of these guys, just heated up too. Hank Steinmiller drove it underneath Johnny Thomas down the front straightaway, and Ryan Gavel's going to try to follow his teammate through. That one car washing up just a little bit though. Steinmiller's through, but a big snarling pack of 4 cars here. Gavel and Thomas side by side.
Yeah, Gavel trying to work that inside line, that preferred line there, but you look behind them at Tate Lytle and Jared Rexing, both of those guys with the fresh tires here, both of them wanting to move forward as quickly as possible. Johnny Thomas right now struggling to just hold on with some of these guys, seems to have burned his stuff up as well here as we're running lap 46 of this race. These guys have done 46 laps on their tires, but everyone clears that 09 car of Johnny Thomas, and the race is on once again to chase down Hank Steinmiller.
You know, that's one of those things that I absolutely love about this racetrack and all the flat racetracks of this kind is you're going to get comers and goers. Guys are going to burn out their tires and fall to the back, and the guys who save their tires are going to be able to come to the front. So we're going to see, I think, a little bit more of coming and going as we run here, but, you know, we haven't really seen it coming out of the top 10. It's been mostly in this area right here from about 9th to 15th or 16th or so has been most of the shifting of positions.
Yeah, it's been a great battle going on here. As a little bit further up, you saw it. Teammates Joshua Clark and Ethan Burrell also racing it out here. We got a couple of inter-team battles going on. That battle between Chad Frankenfield and Andrew Rucker in 4th and 5th is still raging on. This one here between Ethan Burrell and Joshua Clark as well is looking nice and tasty. And of course, right behind them is that gaggle of cars trying to go for that 9th position.
Pro Edge, 3 cars right here in the top 10. Then Tate Lytle back there in 11th spot. They're certainly been fast today, but except for Tate qualifying on poles, just don't seem to quite have enough to get up to the Lake Norman cars at the front of the field.
Yeah, not quite able to get there, but Tate Lytle right now is past Jared Rexing, so he now becomes the lead car on fresh tires as he's working his way past Ryan Gavel, and you see they're tight quarters for Ryan Gavel and Jared Rexing, but they give each other some respect here, give each other just enough room to work the corners, and Jared Rexing gonna dive it in on the bottom and very nearly takes out Ryan Gavel there. An aggressive move by Jared Rexing, who's desperate to stay on the back bumper of that 56 car, as those two are running the same strategy.
Right, and Jared Rexing doesn't want to let Tate Lytle go. He does have a little bit, I believe, more laps on his tires. He has 7 more laps on his tires than Tate does. And Tate by David Tooker. Tooker's car may be falling off now as well. And, like we said, you're going to start seeing these guys have just kind of overdriven their car a little bit early in the run, maybe slid the tire ever so slightly exiting these corners. It'll heat them up, and then you'll have no grip. It'll be like driving on ice exiting these corners, and for a track that's already very loose off, that makes it very difficult to keep that car on the bottom of the racetrack. You'll slide up the track, not be able to put the power down entering the straightaway, and then everyone's flashing by you on both sides.
Absolutely. So I watch a lot of Formula One, and in that series, we've got a certain tire set that you've basically got a consistent drop off, and then what we call the cliff, where just suddenly the tires, one lap they're making lap time, and then one lap they've just completely quit. And it might be a situation where some of these drivers have hit that theoretical cliff on these tires, where it's just, the advantage wasn't necessarily there when it was comparing lap 40 versus lap 20 on the tires, but now when you're comparing lap 50 versus lap 30, the guys on lap 50 have possibly hit that cliff, those who pushed a little bit too early, and that means that now you're starting to see that pace advantage, and the guys who have not pit and who really pushed their stuff early on are dropping like crazy. Look at David Tooker, look at Johnny Thomas down in 14th position, now 15th position, as Ryan Gavel goes around into the cones.
That will bring out a caution, and just as we're talking about the long green flag run, the effect of the tires, I was going to say that it's more in the driver's control. The tires are, whether or not, especially on iRacing, whether or not that tire hits a cliff, certainly more in the driver's hands. But for this one, I think we all saw it. It looked like Ryan Gavel just heated him up exiting the corner. Maybe a little contact there from Jared Rexing, actually.
Possibly a little help from Rexing, but he definitely had the rear end loose there exiting 4 already, so possibly there's just that checkup. You don't have that same forward momentum, and Jared Rexing just went into the back of him and helped him through that spin. I'd be surprised if they throw that on Rexing, but unfortunate for Ryan Gavel there, as that's he was having a great run up until that point. One of those guys who had not pitted yet and was still holding on pretty well. There's going to be some pretty significant damage to the, I believe that would be the left side of his car, the way it spun.
How about maybe we can go in and grab another replay after pit stops here and just see if we can't take a look at whether or not the chase view of Gavel's machine.
Yeah, let's see what we can find here. If we head back and take a look at that number 1 car incident. Cars are on pit road right now. We'll see how they come off after the fact. Marcus Frucknick has been your leader, and he led everyone down onto pit road. But we will take a look and see what we can find here regarding Gavel, and see if we can find a nice view to work with.
I had just sent out an additional tweet on the race mentioning the long green flag run. And of course, as soon as I do that, Ryan Gavel gets spun around here. So announcer's curse at its finest, though maybe not intentional there. And yeah, I think Gavel got loose, checked up, and then that put Rexing on his back bumper and finished him off there. So
Yeah.
Difficult to pin that on Rexing as intentional or anything, but for sure frustrating.
How about this call from Johnny Thomas here, staying out this time around? Possibly will be coming in, but just getting that lap lead point, and now he's going to dive down pit road. So smart call there by Johnny Thomas, just grabbing as many points as you can when you maybe don't have the car to take it down to victory lane or grab that top 5 here. He's going to end up losing ultimate track position as he's going to end up starting at the tail end of this line, but grabs an extra point there for leading 1 lap. Same thing with Joshua Personette up now in first place, who was he has not pitted yet this race either, and he's staying out another lap.
Now I think Johnny actually, missed his pit box. Looking at it, his pit stint had already gone to 1 by the time he did that. So yeah, Johnny may have missed his pit box. Takes the opportunity to lead the lap, and now Personette wants to lead a lap as well, grab up an extra bonus point. And that will turn the lead back to Marcus Fruchtknecht, and then Ryan Lutz lost a spot on pit road. He'll restart 3rd. Damian Leininger will be restarting on the front row.
Yeah, great stop there from the 12 crew for Damian Leininger. We'll keep an eye on this 18 car. See, he should dive down pit road, and he does, and that should mean that the 0-1 car as well of Zishan Dura will now get the wave around, and Marcus Fruchtknecht becomes your leader. Yeah, Damian Leininger starting next to teammate there, Ryan Lutz once again, and then Chad Frankenfield, Andrew Rucker making up that top 5. So not too much shift there, but the big notice was Damian Leininger getting past his teammate Ryan Lutz.
Beautiful paint scheme there by Ryan Lutz. He painted all 3 of the front 3 cars so far in this race. So a hell of a job by Ryan Lutz Designs. Just does amazing work every single time out.
Yeah, great looking cars. I'm sure you're a little biased with the car that he's given you in the truck series, but
he does a wonderful job every time, folks. What can you say?
Absolutely, great looking cars there at the front of the grid. Great looking cars all throughout this field, but they're lined up 2 by 2, and that should mean that we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. There is a blinking car on the front row of this field, so that could potentially check up this outside line. Chad Frankenfield and Ethan Burrell notably to watch out for, but the pace truck's going to peel off. Marcus Fruchtknecht control of the grid, and there he goes, clean past Damian Leininger, who's left to dry out on the top line, but I think he might have actually allowed that to happen, hold up that top line and slide in right behind his 2 teammates in 1st and 2nd.
That may have been the call precisely there. For Damian to kind of go a little bit later, but ooh man, fanning out 2 and 3 wide down the back straightaway. Damian blinking once again. I think everyone's getting through okay so far, but just an absolute mess back here. 10th spot.
Absolutely, here we go. We got them 2 by 2 fighting it out between the teammates, Tate Lytle and David Tooker. Tate Lytle made some positive progress, but it was ultimately a net loss for that 56 car. The caution flag is out once again. It looks like it's poor Johnny Thomas and Jared Rexing, both of them, who were having pretty solid races up until that point. Jared Rexing especially, and Brody Moore all involved in that incident. We'll head over to the iRace online replay to see what happened between those cars.
Oh, big disappointment for Johnny Thomas. You know, we talked about it. You know, he stayed out, and it was probably an accident to kind of end up back here, and when you end up back here in the muck, you end up kind of in a bad spot. 4 wide entering the corner, that's almost never going to work.
Oh, it was actually, it had already happened. Yep. All right, so let's go back here to the iRace online replay and take a look. It would be Jared Rexing and Chuck Sweeting then who started that accident, and we'll take a look and see, and actually just a quick view at that as well tells me there was another car involved in that, and I believe that was Vincent Isabella in the number 42 car.
See here, our injury supporter Brandon Key involved. Oh man, Vincent.
Ooh.
Oh wow,
Key
Vincent
just avoids that too.
Yeah, you can see how little space there was between the 42 and the 75 there. Certainly not expecting to turn Chuck Sweeting into the inside fence. Funny story. I was involved in an incident on the front straightaway with Chuck Sweeting at Milwaukee our last time out. It just seems like he's not got luckier at this racetrack. You know, similar incident as well. We were both going for the same piece of real estate on the bottom of the racetrack and made some contact, ended up in the wall. It is what it is down there, but you know, if you're Vincent, you don't think that may have even been net code as well. I don't know what the race control has to say about it.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening to that that number 42 car, Vincent Isabella, right now running in P34, so hasn't been given any penalty by race control as far as we can tell up here in the booth. But hey, let's see if we can reach out. We might have 1 or 2 more laps here under caution. See if we can reach out to 17th place runner here, our in-race reporter Brandon Key. Talk about some of the crazy journeys he's been going through right now throughout this race.
All right, let me get him in here. And Brandon, you got a copy with us?
Oh, Brandon Key, you got a copy?
What's up, fellas?
Brandon, you were right around that wreck there. You had a pretty good view of it. What do you think happened out there?
I'm not sure if the 42 got in the back of Chuck there or not. I just seen Chuck turn left in my rear view, and I'm glad he didn't come back up into me.
Well, there have been a couple of close calls for you already on the racetrack. I think after we talked to you last, there was that incident with your teammate Jeff Green, and you checking up to just avoid that. So it's been a pretty eventful day for you so far. But running P17 right now, pretty strong or pretty solid result for you right now. Teammate Colin Fern right in front, as well as Joshua Adams and Jeff Green. So we've got all the Ruthless cars basically within the span of 5 positions here. What's your guys' plan to move forward here as we're approaching this halfway point?
I think we all got good speed, but I flat spot on my tires. I'm trying to avoid that wreck y'all were mentioning. And then we got a long green flag run, so I couldn't really move up like I wanted to. I really think Jeff and Fern are gonna start moving up the field here in a minute.
All right, Brandon, thanks for joining us once again. We'll try to get in touch with you if we get another caution.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
All right, Brandon Key, our in-race reporter there. It's been an eventful day for all the Ruthless Motorsports drivers there. Joshua Adams maybe having the quietest of them all, but they're all working together back there. They're all within 1 or 2 positions of each other in the middle of this pack here. So like Brandon Key was saying, look for Colin Fern and Jeff Green especially to potentially be moving forward here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It's going to be Marcus Frucknicht and Ryan Lutz this time on the front row, and this time potentially less room for Lutz to slot in, though I'm sure there's going to be some coordination between all these Lake Norman Motorsports guys to make sure this works just fine. Oh,
the restart looks like it got waved off there.
Yeah, a bit of chaos in the mid pack there as guys maybe weren't quite as lined up there, maybe peeking out just a little bit. So we'll go around for one more lap here as we'll wait for this caution to end here. Running just lap 64 here, though, tonight of 150. Still quite some ways to go in this race, and a lot of strategy yet to be played. Nobody's going to be able to make it on this set of tires or fuel either. So they're either going to need another caution to come out here, or we're going to be seeing green flag pit stops later in this event to finish it off, whether it's for a splash and go or for a full 4-tire set.
Yeah, I think we'll have some more cautions as well. This track's been very treacherous today. A lot of incidents and a little bit of contact. Did get word from Vic Bloom, Vincent Isabella's crew chief, that was indeed netcode. So Vincent definitely not making contact with Chuck Sweeting, certainly not an intentional move there, and thus Chuck gets the worst of it.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Truck, but now the pace truck's going to peel off, and immediately Mark Sprucknicht on the loud pedal. He's going to go straight away, and Lutz is going to slot in nice and easily there into second position, but I'm sure he's not going to be content with just that. He's going to try and get to the back of his teammate in that 13 car. Look at the gap they've already pulled on teammate Damian Leininger, but also look at Ethan Burrell there, trying to get up into the 4th position, working on the inside here of Chad Frankenfield.
Ethan looking like pretty sporty here. Hopefully he can kind of get into this Lake Norman group and try to break them up a little bit. Ryan Lutz, though, he's going for that 3 wins in 3 races, in 3 series this week. The elite sweep, as it were. I don't believe anyone's done that so far, and it would be really remarkable if Lutz could kind of pull up here and get it. I'm sure Lutz is telling Marcus Frucknicht not to take it easy on him. He's got to work for it today. Marcus looks very fast.
Absolutely, yeah. No, you're going to want to earn that stuff, but not a great restart there for the 15 car. Chad Frankenfield fell back a couple of positions there, lost spots to Ethan Burrell and now teammate Andrew Rucker, who's up into the next position. But there you see their fastest lap, Marcus Frucknick. Going to be tough for Lutz to beat him with just how much speed that 13 car is showing, but those two have both gapped Damian Leininger considerably. It's really going to be that two-man race up front for the lead. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, these guys are still pretty close here behind Damian Leininger. We'll see how aggressive they'll get trying to get past this 12 car, as Ethan Burrell looks like he's got a run coming pretty soon.
It's very difficult to pass at this track, too. You have to make the move at the right time. The patience required for the Milwaukee Mile is, the most important. It's one of probably the tracks that you have to be the most patient at. It just takes so long to get back on the throttle, and it doesn't create very big runs. Ethan Burrell now looking inside of the number 12 car, and it looks like the 37 will flash on by, showing some speed for the first time today.
Yeah, really good speed here from the 37 Ethan Burrell. It's been a little bit of a winless drought for him in the Cup Series, especially a recent winner in the Xfinity Series. But we do have another caution flag on track, and it's the 91 and 09 car again, I believe.
And just unfortunate for Johnny Thomas and Brody Moore. Been involved in everything today, it seems like.
Let's head back to that iRace online replay. Those two were quite separated from the rest of the track, and does look like, in fact, they were the cause of that caution. We'll head back. It was through 3 and 4. Looks like they just maybe got a little bit together. There you see Johnny Thomas coming down, Brody Moore a little bit on the bottom. Maybe a little bit of netcode involved in there, as I didn't see too much contact between the two, but spins them around, and there you go. Once again, both of them just cannot get away from these cautions.
It's very interesting after spending a race where several spins happened on the broadcast that we completely missed, because some of them, including current Cup Series drivers last night. Kaz Gralla, I think, spun out 2 or 3 times of various incidents, and we never caught it because race control didn't throw the yellow for those incidents. So I imagine that guys are going to come get tires here. The call, though, it's going to be up in the air as to whether or not everybody wants to. The Lake Norman guys stay out, and that'll leave everybody out on the track.
Yeah, that's a late call there from Marcus Frucknick and Ryan Lutz. And I mean, heck, if you're Ryan Lutz, you're thinking, I made this similar call last night. Obviously, it was later in the race, but if you're expecting another caution to come soon as well, just 15 laps on this set of tires, you're probably not thinking quite yet to get rid of them. You think you can hang on for a little bit longer, and I think the speed that the 13 and 36 have shown tonight. Even guys on fresh tires behind them would have a rough time just trying to keep up with them, as now we've got both 3rd and 4th, Ethan Burrell and Damian Leininger, blinking a little bit here on track.
Ethan's also had some computer issues this season, and not something we really want to see out of our competitors. We really hope everybody can get those sorted out. Ethan's remains intact for the entire race today. This has been more of a day-night transition problem, and that won't be the issue today.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep our eyes on that. There's always going to be interesting factors in these races, so who knows, man? It's there's still a long way to go, and still many things to be decided here.
Well, let's see. Marcus Frucknick has led since early in this one. Ryan Lutz has really not even challenged him for the race lead. The question now is how much speed does that 37 car have? Has he been kind of relaxing and holding back a little bit to kind of work his way up to this front group? We've seen Ethan Burrell do that before, where he didn't really show speed early in the race, and then later on he comes on with his hair on fire and drives past everybody. So Ethan's certainly pretty quick here at the Milwaukee Mile too. I've run a couple of races with him here, and he's been competitive every time. Got the speed, got the talent. We just need to see if he can keep up with these Lake Norman Chevys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be great. And again, we're not even at the halfway point. We need to remind our viewers. We need to remind ourselves of that. There's so much racing still yet to come here. I'm sure there's lots of guys throughout the field who haven't quite given it 10 out of 10 here. Yeah, I mean, still a lot to come. Still a lot of drivers, I think, to show their hands here. Still a lot to be decided. Marcus Fruchnik right now has been the strongest guy so far, but I think there's a couple of drivers who might have something a little bit extra in their pocket as we get closer to the end of this race.
I think number one of those is his teammate on the outside, Ryan Lutz, winner of, again, our last 3 consecutive nights of racing. So Ryan looking to go 4 for 4 all this week, 4 different series. That's kind of the main story of tonight. That Ryan Lutz trying to get that 36 car in victory lane for the 3rd consecutive Elite Racing main series race and the 4th consecutive night.
Yeah, exactly, and we're going to keep an eye on that, and nobody wants that to happen more than Ryan Lutz here. I was talking to him before this race, and he was so excited to be, as I quote, making history here in the Elite Racing Leagues. He desperately wants this win, but he's got a stout opponent in Marcus Fruchnik to fight for, and Marcus, once again, with that early jump on these restarts. Importantly this time, though, is that Ethan Burrell not going to give a ton of room behind him for Ryan Lutz to really slot in here. So if Ethan Burrell can stay on the back bumper of that, ooh, that's going to be a tight join in there by Ryan Lutz, but I think Ethan Burrell cuts him a bit of a break there as Lutz now going after Marcus Fruchnik, but Ethan Burrell might have just almost pushed Lutz out to lose a couple of positions there.
Ooh, man, and I think Ethan now knows what he has to do on a late race restart. Can't provide that gap for Lutz to kind of get in there. Lutz rolled the top very well, which kind of allowed him the power and the momentum to get down in front. As Fruchnik hits the curb a little bit, that draws them ever closer. The Lake Norman guys certainly have not jumped out to such a big lead this time. Ethan Burrell all over the back bumper of Ryan Lutz and very much in the mixed lead.
Yeah, Ethan Burrell right now really, really quick in that 37 car. Lots of pace here. He's been working his way forward. This is the first time he's gotten a chance to really restart on the back of these guys. As the caution flag is out once again, we've got cars spun around in the back of the pack, and it is your pole sitter, Tate Lytle, involved in an incident in 3 and 4.
You know, I maybe maligned his call to get tires early in the race a little bit. Just mentioning that you end up in the smut. You have to deal with people running through traffic. Right there, Chad Frankenfield cuts across the front bumper of the 56.
Yeah, both.
Man, looks like that's going to be all the damage that he gets, though. Good job by both of those guys to save those cars, but I would certainly pin that on last season's champion. Car inside, man. There's not much else to say there.
Yeah, that's a rough incident there, and unfortunate for Tate Lytle. I think definitely potentially a little bit more aggressive on the side of that 15-car Chad Frankenfield. Again, we'll see what race control ends up calling that incident on. But again, have to say, great job by all the drivers behind to avoid that incident. That's in a pretty precarious position in the field. It's very easy to go pretty fast there especially if you're trying to make a move on the outside line. So kudos to the guys who made it past, but. Man, that's rough for Tate Lytle as he's shown a lot of pace here tonight. He did get himself back in the pack there, and that eventually probably ended up being the cause of or the net cause of the incident there. But man, oh man, he's had a lot of pace these past couple of weeks, but not a ton of luck to back it up.
Yeah, Tate is certainly run across the kind of the bad luck demons, as it were. Even since Daytona, where he was involved in a number of wrecks, hasn't really been able to turn his season around just yet. So we'll have to see if the 56 can kind of make his way back through the field. Not a lot of damage for him there, so I think he'll be okay. But yeah, he'll have to climb through the field once again for the second time today.
Absolutely. We'll go pacing for 1 or 2 laps. We've just passed the halfway point here at the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series Bofanna 150. The cars should start gridding up 2 by 2 in a second. We'll take a quick 45-second to a minute break here and be back with you guys. And welcome back. Sorry about that. We are getting these cars listed 2 by 2 now, getting ready to take the green flag here, starting on lap 80. We should hopefully get a nice little run to the finish line here, but we'll see. It's been a series of pretty short runs as a whole, maybe a little bit of a medium to long run there in the middle, but we've had a number of cautions here recently, especially with guys, a lot of them on fresh rubber. Right now, 25 laps on these tires. We'll see how this next stint fares, but hoping for a nice little long run here to shake things up in the order. Yeah, Tyler Fode, I mean, we talked about him a little bit earlier, and as we're going around for one more pace lap here, as I guess they're not quite ready to go just yet, but yeah, Tyler Fode didn't have the best of qualifyings, but he's infamous or notorious for having great pace on long runs. We had that long run, helped move him forward here. He is just knocking on the outside of the top 10 here in P9. So he's going to need maybe another long run to try and get up to the rest of these guys where he'll really have that pace advantage. But right now the short run speed doesn't quite seem to be there with that 40 car. But Gerald Campbell back inside the top 8 as well. So good run there by the 31 car. He's back in it as well. So again, mix of comers and goers here in this race. We've seen a lot of these drivers in the top 10 before, but a lot of the guys that we've seen earlier as well have dropped out. I mean, former second place runner David Tooker right now running back in P11. Matthew Weeks, who spun early on, up to P12. So definitely some shuffling in this field, and still some to come as we are only on lap 80 of 150. Pace truck should peel off this time by, and Marcus Frucknicht, as we'd expect, is going to be instantly on the power there. As a big hold up there for Andrew Rucker, as he doesn't quite get going in that 64 car. That's going to hold up that inside line and almost look like a couple of cars might have run into the back of each other. Absolutely, apologies about that. I actually had a bit of an audio issue there, so we apologize to those guys viewing at home. But yeah, man, oh man, it's been a pretty aggressive restart here. But guys are getting back in line here. We've got them kind of all one in a row here, as we do have a blinker there around that last corner. I'm trying to see who that might be. I think he's back on track.
Oh, there's a car around. I think it's our in-race reporter, Brandon Key.
Ooh, well, let's take a look. Brandon Key, yep, he is in the wall on the front stretch. The caution flag does not come out, though. Is that correct?
Can't tell.
Not seeing a caution on my my timing and scoring here, as the cars have slowed down, I believe. Yep, the cars have slowed down. We have gotten a caution. No, we have not.
Yeah, we have. They're definitely slowing down.
They have slowed down now. There we go. Okay. Interesting there that it didn't show up on our timing scoring there. There it is finally. So a bit of a strange situation there, but yeah, Brandon Key. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to that 25 car. Unfortunate for our in-race reporter. We'll head back to that iRace online replay. See what we can find. He was coming off of that turn 4, that treacherous turn 4 that we've talked about. Was the car coming into him? Based on the position, I would potentially assume so, but it could also be just getting a little bit wide on the exit there of turn 4. Here we go. Brandon Key is the car there, that bright blue car. You'll see him. He does just get loose off of 4 there and slides it into the pit wall. A little bit of a bump there on the front, but nothing else really there. That brings out the caution, but should not be the end of the day for Brandon Key.
Definitely disappointing, though. You know, we've been hoping for a longer green flag run here. Looks like a bunch of guys turning to red on our timing and scoring. I'm hoping that that's not indicative of a iRacing server issue. We had one last night. They had him in the Pro Series as well. Looks like everything's back going.
Yeah, seems
think
to
we
be
lost.
okay.
I'm definitely wary about it after last night. We lost like 10 drivers in our race, and the iRacing Pro Series lost 20 drivers in their race. So I just have to be on the lookout for those types of things. For now, though, I think we're good to go. Another caution, another restart. These guys have really not been able to put the kind of laps in that they might want to under green flag and get into the rhythm, and that's certainly not helping them get in, on these restarts. They're definitely having to cool down and speed up. The tires are cold and warm and cold and warm, so there's certainly less grip involved there as well. And then you don't have any rhythm. You come off that corner for the first time in 5 or 10 minutes after pacing a while, and that'll break your car loose. So difficult for Brandon Key for sure, but these guys have certainly been put into a bit of a bind with how these cars are driving and with the pace of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tricky. I think, if you're Marcus Frucknick, you're probably the person who likes this the most. You've got the most control on restarts, and you're gapping enough that, people won't be able to catch you on these short runs, but I don't think any driver in the field is really enjoying this. These short runs are just brutal. These pace laps are brutal. You just want to come out here and race. You don't want to just sit here lapping, at about 50 miles an hour or so. These guys want to be pushing hard, and you want to earn this win. Marcus Frucknick has done a great job to get to the lead so far, but he surely wants to see, he wants to see some green flag racing to go to the end.
Yeah, and I may not if I'm Marcus Strucknick. I kind of want them to just keep on pacing, because Ryan Lutz is a one hungry dude looking for 4 consecutive elite racing wins in 4 nights, which would be really remarkable. It would be something if someone had gone out and done this before, but Lutz has never done it himself, and no one else has been able to go out and do that. So yeah, it's one of those things where Lutz's wins have not at all been guaranteed either. He's had to battle 3 wide on Sunday in the Truck Series with R.C. Anderson and Matthew Weeks, and then last night he was out on old tires, so the entire field came in and got new tires behind him, was able to hold them off for 20 laps and win the race. So these wins have certainly been somewhat fortuitous for Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, he's certainly had to work for them is ultimately where it's been for that 36 car, but he's really having to work for this one tonight, potentially the hardest one he's going to have to pick up here. We were talking about it. The last time Ryan Lutz won a regular season cup race was 2019. We're obviously running in the 2021 A season right now as Marcus Frucknick gets underway, but for Ryan Lutz, it's been a little while here since that 36 car has been to victory lane in the regular season. Now, of course, he's had great playoff runs, great runs in the elite chase, but in the regular season, man, he hasn't quite been able to get it done in the entirety of 2020. So they're certainly hoping to break that streak tonight.
That's incredible, man. We've watched him run so well, and he's I think the second or third all-time winningest driver in Elite Series history. So Ryan Lutz certainly trying to hunt down Marcus Frucknick, and the battle is for third between Ethan Burrell and Damian Leininger. Ethan not nearly as tied up to the back bumper of Ryan Lutz this time through.
Yeah, this time Damian a lot more aggressive on that restart on the back of Ethan Burrell. We'll see if he can stay here as the run goes on. We kind of saw after 3 or 4 laps, Ethan was closing in on that lead pack and might even be happening, but we got a little battle as well a little bit further back. You've got Tyler Fody right now with Andrew Rucker trying to get on by him, but Andrew Rucker kind of left back a little bit there as he's now under attack by Matthew Weeks. He's going to dive back to the bottom. Matthew Weeks, what a recovery drive from him, up to 9th position from that spin on lap 1. Got off strategy a little bit, is back on strategy with the rest of these guys around him, and is showing a legitimate speed here in that 11 car despite any damage he might have picked up early on in any of those incidents. Impressive run here by that 11 car.
Speaking of recovery runs, 2 guys back here in 12th and 14th, Ryan Gavel and Jeff Green. Both of them have managed to recover after spinning out. Remember, Ryan Gavel was in the pit barrels. You go, and he's back up into 12th. This one car definitely as quick as its Lake Norman counterparts.
100%. Lots of speed there still from Ryan Gavel, despite that hard hit to that. It was that right side or that left side quarter panel. You can still see that damage there, pretty significant on his car. And yeah, Jeff Green spun it around right now, following his teammate Colin Fern in the 86 car. But yeah, still some speed in a lot of these guys in the mid-pack. It's just going to be about trying to get that track position as Colin Fern here tries to get the move done on Ryan Gavel. He slides on past Jeff Green, going to try and follow, but Ryan Gavel defends to the inside line, blocking Jeff Green from making the move for 13th position.
It's worth noting that Colin Fern and Jeff Green both have a little bit fresher tires than everyone that they're running around right now. Both of those guys came in on one of those cautions when we had kind of that rash of yellows in the last 20 laps or so. So those guys do have 17 or so laps fresher tires, but a number of those laps were run under caution. The gains they have may be a little bit incremental, but nevertheless they are able to make a little bit better moves.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what they can do, and you were talking about it earlier in the race, right? It's not necessarily the overall lap time that they're really gaining, but it's the ability to make moves and then have the car stick as you throw it into the corner that is really advantageous for these guys. You're using the tires up to just get off the corner better, as Josh Robin doesn't get off the corner quite well, and Colin Fern and Josh Clark are going to try and get to the back of that 8 car.
I was just going to say something about Josh Robin as well. John moving up in the top 10 as the caution is out once again. The Milwaukee Mile proving to be a very difficult track for some of these guys, including Brody Moore and Johnny Thomas again.
Yeah, Brody Moore is not a fan of this racetrack, I can tell you. After tonight, just not going his way at all. Let's take a look and see what happened to this 91 car on this front straightaway. As Johnny Thomas and he, I think, come together once again. There you see loose off the corner for Brody Moore. Richard Hines gets into him. Then you get Johnny Thomas. And Johnny Thomas and Richard Hines come together again. So big damage for all of those cars involved there on the front straightaway. But yeah, Johnny Thomas and Brody Moore both want this night to end right now.
Those guys have a good bit of damage on those Richmar Florist Fords. Might be time to call it, but you know, they know what the potential is here at Milwaukee Mile. We had an Xfinity race here last season, and they were 3 and 4 wide. The entire field wadded them up a number of times late in the event when people were just going for spots that really weren't there. And you know, that's why Johnny and Richard are staying around. But for now, Marcus Frucknick's going to lead them all onto pit road, and nobody is staying out.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to bring it in this time around. They ran about 40 laps on that last set of tires. This is, you're inside the window now. It just absolutely makes sense. As Damian Leininger misses his pit box just a little bit there. That's gonna slow him down on pit road and hurt his run there for that third position there to try and make that a Lake Norman 1, 2, 3. But first off pit road, it's gonna be Marcus Frucknick once again beating off. Ryan Lutz, as Colin Fern with a 2-tire stop, I think is gonna make it to that third position. I think he's just going to lose out to Ryan Lutz, but impressive job there by the 86 car. He had, like you said, fairly fresher tires, goes for the outside tire move. We'll see how this pays off. The first time I think we've seen 2 tires, the call here tonight.
You know, we also have a couple of guys staying out, and one of those is Chad Frankenfield, whom we know has a fast car. He's been up in the top 10 all day, but earlier we saw him get into Tate Lytle and spin in turn 4. The other car is Vincent Isabella, who's someone we know will make these calls to stay out. Last week did exactly that, and you know, subsequent contact straight away at Fontana made for a wild finish, giving RC Enerson the win. And then, yeah, Scott Haney staying out as well in the 3 car. So 3 guys going for that track position. It's been a bit of a caution fest with most of the crashes happening in the mid or back of the field. So maybe the front's the place to be for these guys. I mean, the tires don't seem to fall off too much after about 10 laps, which is what they have on those tires.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the people I'm more interested almost in here, I mean, so Chad Frankenfield is that's definitely the right call for him, but he's also in a weird position where he's 20 laps in on these tires. So he pitted maybe 2 cautions ago, rather than I think what Vincent and Scott did, which was just 1 or 2 cautions ago, or losing track a little bit of some of the laps that we spent here under caution. But what that means is that Chad is in that same position. If you remember during that first long stint where we had that 20-lap difference and we saw the guys on the 20-lap older tires really start to struggle later in that run. For Vincent and Scott, however, they're only on about 12, 13 lap older tires than everybody else. That's a pretty significant difference to what Chad is dealing with. That 10 laps can make a pretty big difference. Those guys I'm looking at as more competitive with the field of cars behind them than what Chad might be in just 30 lap time, assuming we stay green here for the next 30 laps. So this is also a call on Chad's part, which is, hey, look, I'm going to keep it out here for the rest of this race, assuming we stay yellow. If we go green for long enough, I might lose a couple of spots, but then everybody's going to eventually have to come back in. So this could work out for all of these top 3 guys. This is a really good call here from all of them.
I don't think anyone else. If the race went green from here, I think everyone who pitted on this last caution would be able to make it to the end of the race. But
Absolutely.
I don't anticipate that. The way we're going tonight, I don't anticipate that. These guys have been beating and banging all day long.
Let me tell you something. It's something that you should certainly start to expect. I can tell you, was working an Xfinity car on Monday night. We set the car all up to go for short run speed. We had an 80 lap long run early in the race, but Chad Frankenfield back to green flag racing, and this time here you go to the inside of Scott Haney. It is Ryan Lutz. He's not able to get past his teammate Marcus Frucknicht as Scott Haney's.
Frucknicht just absolutely smashed into the back bumper of the 42. They're 3 wide for second. Vincent Isabella got checked up behind the older tires of Chad Frankenfield, and that opened the door for Ryan Lutz. He's going to get around his teammate Marcus Frucknicht.
So that old tire's not quite the move there for Vincent Isabella, not quite the move for Scott Haney, but Chad Frankenfield still up front. But here comes the move from Ryan Lutz. He wants this badly. Chad tracks up a little bit high. They're going to be door to door, but right now it looks advantage to Ryan Lutz, who had the nose in front as the caution came out. It was Chad Frankenfield, I think.
Man, oh man, we may need to take a look at that restart again. 3 wide off of turn 2. And you saw Marcus Frucknicht just did, I mean, he just ran straight in the back of Vincent Isabella there. I'm not entirely sure, you know, I guess he's on the gas a little bit earlier than Vincent, but man, oh man.
So here we go. It was Scott Haney involved in that incident, and it was a dive almost from Andrew Rucker is what it looked like from that angle there.
Rucker just completely missed the corner, it looked like, and takes Haney with him. And disappointing for Haney. Got up on TV, though, and held his line. I mean, no incidents from any of those guys. Older tires there, not causing any problems. Just it looks like a corner miscalculation by the 64 car.
Yeah, so let's head back to that iRace Online replay. Let's watch that restart here between these cars. Watch that craziness between Marcus Frucknicht and the 42 car of Vincent Isabella. So we'll go all the way back to the moment that Chad Frankenfield hit the loud pedal. So here we go. This is the restart. There goes the pace truck. And watch the second car on that outside lane, the 13 car of Marcus Frucknicht. As there you see, they're almost getting to the back of Vincent Isabella. They're so close as the two almost get together. And there you go. There's the checkup there out of 2 as well as Chad Frankenfield slows down.
You saw that it came from Chad, and Frucknicht just drives right through Vincent there. You know, not anticipating the checkup from Chad, not able to see it. I wonder if that 13 car might have a little bit of damage. The most dominant car today has, you know, got into the back bumper of the 42 car. But Chad Frankenfield has brought it to pit road, so he goes to get tires. You have to wonder if now Vincent Isabella may be the odd man out here in 5th spot with the only car having old tires.
Yeah, that's going to be rough for Vincent here, especially now that he's back in the pack. I mean, the guy we should also be talking about, Ryan Lutz, with Chad Frankenfield going down pit road. Ryan Lutz is the leader of this race now, and I mean, we've talked about so many times in the past how advantageous that pole position spot is, how advantageous that leader spot is on these restarts. You dictate when we go. You dictate the speed at which we start going green at. There's so much power in your hands. We've seen that Marcus Frucknicht has been untouchable on restarts tonight. Ryan Lutz, we've seen him in the past, has been untouchable on restarts. Can he do that again tonight? Can he leave that teammate of Marcus Frucknicht in the dust? Is Colin Fern now going to be a challenge? He took that 2-tire stop, remember, got that track position. He's up to 3rd position. He followed these 2 cars through the likes of Vincent Isabella and Scott Haney up to this position. So look out for that 86 car as well.
Yeah, we got to mention the 63 of Hank Steinmiller. He's been hanging out in the top 10 all day long. The teammate of the 13 and the 36. Man, these like Norman cars always up near the front of the field. Hank Steinmiller, though, has driven a really clean race. Haven't had, you know, mentioned his name for much of anything today. Besides, hey, he's running well in the top 10. That's exactly the kind of race Hank Steinmiller likes to run, and he likes to be there at the end for him. And maybe that 63 car has a little bit more in the tank that we don't know about.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on his process as well. Ethan Burrell fell back a little bit on that last pit cycle, so he's got some work to do. He's shown good pace. I think a lot of these guys, I think that this top 6 has been very, very impressive. That's Ryan Lutz, Marcus Frucknick, Colin Fern, Hank Steinmiller, Vincent Isabella, and Ethan Burrell. All of them have shown speed to win this race here tonight. And any one of them could potentially get it done here, whether it's through strategy or straight up speed. We're less than 50 laps to go in this race. They're lined up 2 by 2. We should be going back to green this time by.
Look to see if these guys can kind of sort it out and get a few laps in here. I would like to see a battle between this 36 and 13 for a win under green. You know, maybe Marcus trying to get around Ryan Lutz now, something that he hasn't had to do all day long.
Yeah, it's kind of a shift of the story here at Lake Norman Motorsports now with Lutz being just a little bit stronger there when they were back in the pack. And yeah, how can Marcus respond to Lutz's restart? What can Colin Fern do to put his name in the hat for fighting for this win tonight? Same thing with Hank Steinmiller. Both of those guys are fairly new up front, but there you go, the early jump once again from Ryan Lutz. And look at Colin Fern there with the jump to the inside of Marcus Frucknick. It could be Fern to P2 coming off of turn 2.
Damian Leininger took him 3 wide entering turn number 1, and I think we're going to start seeing more big moves like that as this race winds down, which may indeed cause more cautions and force us to kind of wait for these restarts once again. But the battles for second. Fern slid it up the track, and he's holding Frucknick back, and I think we're under caution again. My goodness.
Yeah, caution flag is out, and it's for the second caution in a row. It's the 64 car there of Andrew Rucker involved in that incident. We'll go back and see what happened. Just things quickly unraveling for Andrew Rucker there. Just not quite going his way here, and yeah, a couple of cars here involved in this incident in the back. Let's see what we can find here regarding this this peculiar little incident here.
Looked like it was on the back straightaway. That would be an odd place to crash, given the way this race has unfolded. All our crashes have tended to be off of the corners or in the middle of them.
Well, I can tell you something. I've got a little bit of a freeze frame here, and you can kind of take a look at it and tell me what's about to go wrong here pretty quickly. We've got cars 5 wide coming off of turn 2. Let's take a look and see exactly how this all pans out.
And there you go, right there. Contact between Scott Haney and Rucker. Too many guys all going for the same real estate down the back straightaway. I am flabbergasted. These guys can't kind of sort it out in the back of the field. I mean, you can't win the race from 30th, and figuring that out is kind of a big deal here, but it looks like we got a bunch of guys with big damage. Hopefully we can kind of finally sort this thing out and get these guys rolling, allow this race to kind of finish up.
Yeah, poor Brody Moore as well involved in that. It looks like Richard Hines is done for the day. That's big damage, or big engine damage there. That looks like that car is done for the day, and unfortunate for those guys, but yeah, man, oh man, that was some pretty aggressive racing there further towards the back, and look, there's always going to be great racing throughout the field here, but yeah, potentially a little bit too overly aggressive there, going 3, 4, 5 wide there on lap 2 of a restart, fighting for 20th position. Might not always end up too well there, but Marcus Frucknick does keep that second position there, so caution flag saved him just a little bit as Colin Fern was trying to make the pass. But yeah, look out for that 86 car. He was impressive on that last restart. He's going to restart right behind the 36 of Ryan Lutz. And despite the fact that Lutz and Frucknick are probably in the same chat together and potentially working together, it looked like it was going to be hard for Frucknick to beat Fern out in the long run there.
I mean, yeah, these guys, that Rucker did, or rather Lutz did not want to see that caution. He was pulling away from Marcus Frucknick, and he needs that clean air to be able to kind of hold off that 13 car. But what a drive for Ryan Lutz to get the lead here. He had to do it on a restart, and oh man, and now he's going to have to hold these guys off through these cautions and the potential caution laps and various other challenges on the restart. Guys trying to throw it in from third on 3 wide. Ryan Lutz is going to have to kind of be perfect the rest of the way in order to cap off that elite sweep that he's going for this week. But he's in the position to do it. He is leading with 40 laps to go in this race.
Yes, he is, and we should be getting them starting to grid 2 by 2 once again. We apologize. It's been some pretty short runs here these past couple of laps, just trying to get this field sorted out, get these guys in a bit of a rhythm so we can get some green flag laps here underway. 40 laps to go in this race when we go back to green, or 41 laps when we go back to green. Hopefully those will all be green flag laps, but right now the rhythm of the race does not seem to be going in that direction. But fingers crossed, and for Ryan Lutz, maybe now he's potentially starting to think, hey, give me a bunch of cautions here. I've got that lead position. I could care less what happens next.
These guys are going to bunch them up here once more, and man, it's been a 36 versus 13 battle here. We'll see who's got anything for Ryan Lutz and Marcus Frucknick.
Yes, we absolutely will. Here we go, 2 by 2. The cars are lined up. Look out for that 86 car, second car on the inside row. Look out for the car behind him as well, the 37 of Ethan Burrell back in at the pace truck. Peels off. Ryan Lutz quickly underway. Wheel spin from Colin Fern, and that means it's going to be Lutz versus Frucknick down into turn 1, though Fern is certainly not done. He dives it in on turn 1, hits that it's almost like a turtle there on the bottom there. Tries to get to the inside of Frucknick, but Frucknick gets the run off of 2 and should have the pass made on Colin Fern.
Just Fern being on that inside corner of Marcus Frucknick is allowing Ryan Lutz to drive away here. Ethan Burrell into 4th. Battle for 5th is between Campbell and Steinmiller. And the battle remains for 2nd, though now Frucknick will bypass Fern.
Yep, so
Campbell into 5th.
Yeah, advantage Marcus Frucknick then remains in that favor, but yeah, I mean, look at Gerald Campbell up to 5th position there. Great restart from him in that number 31 diecast dude Chevy. We'll see what he can do. Again, it's been a little while since we've gotten the chance to call Gerald Campbell's name up here in the top 5. He's shown good speed in the past, haven't always had the execution to back it up, but ooh, looping off of 4 there just as we're talking about him. We should probably just click away there before we curse another driver here on the field. We'll head back in the pack, watch this nice little 2x2 battle between Vincent Isabella and Damian Leininger. These two had a couple of coming togethers last week at what's it, Auto Club or Michigan? I've visited all 3 of those tracks. It was at Auto Club last week, but they had some coming togethers last week at Auto Club, but racing each other nicely and fairly here tonight as Tyler Fody now slides on past Vincent. Reminder, that 42 car on those old tires as he shows it loose off of turn 4.
You know, we've seen 2 cars get loose off of 4 there, and it goes to show you these guys are really pushing hard, believing that we're going to get another caution. There's no point in saving your tires if there's just caution after caution, and you only have to run 20 more green flag laps in this one. If you have to run all 40 of those laps under green flag, well then saving tires might be the play, but for now, these guys are giving it all they've got here. You can see it from these guys getting loose off the corners.
Yeah, how about, ooh, as we see there, a car spun almost.
Another one spinning as well, Jeff Green. Both, I think Dusty and Green both able to do it. Nope, Dusty got it all the way around. So we didn't mention Dusty's name because he'd been running about 20th all day and doing a really good job of keeping it clean. Just lost it there. Like I said, pushing too hard, getting off these corners a little bit too aggressively.
So here we go. Let's see Dustin Dewar here in the number 32 car. Looks like just loose off of 4. We talked about it. That turn 4 is, ooh, he very nearly misses the cones there, but still might pick up some damage there as he taps a car going on by. Who was that? That might have been Jared Rexing there. It was Jared Rexing, as Alec Balvans as well involved in that incident. Man, oh man, a lot of these guys, we're seeing a lot of repeat names in a lot of these incidents, because once you're towards this backpack, you get involved, as you see there, Kendall Noah player as well involved there. So just really, really unfortunate for all of these guys to get involved there, and just the nature of the race sometimes when you're stuck in that backpack and that's where the accidents are happening, it's so hard to not be involved in just about everyone that happens.
Right, yeah, these, once you get in the back, it's just difficult to dodge it. We've seen a good work by the back of the field, checking up and dodging the wrecks so far today, but so many of these incidents have just kind of been unavoidable based on the way this track is driving right now. These cars very loose exiting the corner.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Just 20 laps complete on this set of tires here, so maybe not too many guys coming down pit road. One of those is Tate Lytle, so he's making another strategy call here. We'll see. Here we go. Ooh, Marcus Frucknick decides to stay out. Colin Fern, though, comes in. The rest of the field stays out. So Fern, with those 2 outside tires, I guess he's got the oldest tires of these guys up front, but almost look like, it does kind of look like Marcus Frucknick tricked Colin Fern. It looked like the whole field was going to go in as Ryan Lutz stayed out. Almost deja vu of last night there. But then Frucknick decides to make the call to stay out here, and Fern gets caught out coming down pit road.
Now, one of those guys that definitely was coming down to get tires this time was Vincent Isabella, and I don't think he's going to end up all that much further back than he was already. Maybe a couple of spots further back, but now Vincent Isabella, Colin Fern, those guys will be coming forward with fresh tires. They'll be the ones on the attack moving through the field. You just have to hope that this field can kind of keep it together, run nicely around each other, and finish this race up. These guys have been all over each other all day long. Maybe a little more give and take is needed throughout the field tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've gotten to that point now a little bit in the race where I'm sure all of these drivers are a little bit tired of these cautions that we've been getting, and hopefully starting to think that, hey, let's maybe just get an agreement going out through the field. Hey, let's take it easy on these first couple laps here. Just try and get some green flag laps in. Let's try and get to the end of this race here. It's been a pretty long one here, almost an hour and a half. Or just over an hour and a half actually underway in our racing so far. So it's certainly been a lengthy one tonight. But yeah, these caution laps certainly not helping, and I'm sure throughout the field guys are hoping that we go green for the rest of the way.
And after a couple of just incredible races to start the year by this elite racing squad, this one certainly more of a crash fest this evening. And we talked about it before the race, and I felt like we would have a little more green flag runs in us than we did, and it looks like this one's going to be a lot of the restart game.
Yeah, for sure. It's tricky. I mean, these short tracks kind of have that as part of their nature, especially when you get these off strategy calls going on, right? You've got such this massive difference in pace. You've got this difference in commitment to corners. And it just kind of breeds this aggression in these drivers, and breeds these cautions to come when everyone's packed together. So it is unfortunate. It's not something new that we've seen both in the elite racing leagues and just in iRacing on short tracks in general. But still, nonetheless, I mean, when we've been green, the on-track product has been great. It's just been a couple of incidents in the mid to back of the pack that have really been just kind of bogging everybody down. I think especially up front and even in the mid pack as well, we've had just great battles all around when guys have been keeping it clean.
How about the recovery from Ryan Gavel and Matthew Weeks there? Those guys have recovered to 6th and 7th, and our in-race reporter Brandon Key, we haven't talked to him in a little bit. The caution's kind of wearing him. It's a little up in the booth, I think. But he's back up in 13th after not coming in on that last pit stop.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll see though. This time, once again, we're back to green flag racing, and a good restart for both Marcus Frucknick and also Ethan Burrell. Burrell's going to now get to the inside of the 13 car. Ethan Burrell, could he have an answer for Ryan Lupp as the caution flag is out once again? They checked up out of before we even hit the green flag, it seems. Strange situation there, as there you go. You see the 4 car checked up at the back of the pack there. We'll go back to the iRace online replay, take a look and see what exactly happened.
Don't even, just, wow. Couldn't even get him to green this time. Come on, boys.
So it looks like this was actually just after the green flag wave, but there you go. The 7 car goes up and slams into the 04. The 81 or 18 car involved in that. The 20 car of Shane DiMantova. 54 of Tyler Dixon in there as well. Who else is that? The 89 car of Brent Jones. I mean, a ton of cars towards the back here involved in this incident once again here. Just overly aggressive towards the back of the pack.
Difficult to notice, maybe I think we might need another replay to get further back to determine the cause. But, at this point, we've seen a number of incidents tonight, and almost all of them have just been guys, not giving each other enough room in the center of the corner, and then, losing the cars.
Yeah, we'll take a look once again here. So there you see Corey Abbott on the outside lane, and that's where this incident really starts. That's not a great camera angle there, but looks like it was 3 wide into the corner. That's not going to work at a track like this, and that just kind of that netted, and a bunch of cars here wrecked on the exit of turn 3.
So I'll tell you what I saw there, and it was Colin Fern goes to take them all 3 wide, which is, I guess, fine. But Michael Goodman goes to give him room. Corey Abbott's already on the outside of Michael Goodman, and so when Goodman moves to the top of the racetrack, he gets into Corey Abbott, and both cars slide, and that starts the wreck. You just don't know what kind of aggression level these guys are going to put in. But I mean, just jumping 3 wide there down the back straightaway, it's not the best. But I would say we should go get our in-race reporter, Brandon Key.
We absolutely should. I was just going to suggest that. I think let's change things up a little bit on this caution period. So bring him in here, David.
Hey, Brandon, you got a copy, buddy?
What's up, guys?
I see that you've made a really nice recovery after that earlier incident. Looks like you're up in 12th. You got anything for him here?
I know I got fresh tires, I think, sitting in 15th. I don't have but maybe 4 or 5 laps on my tires, so I should be able to put up a good fight. Hopefully come away with top 10. It's been hectic out here. Hopefully we can get some green flag run in.
Yeah, Brandon, wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. It's been some pretty short runs here, sometimes not even getting a whole lap completed. I mean, what's it like down in driver chat? What are people's feelings in general about this race so far? I mean, you had a great green flag run there early on, but since then it's been difficult to get any momentum in this field.
Yeah, guys are just getting impatient. We got so many different strategies right now going on. Some tires, I mean, some people are wanting 4 tires, some people are staying out on 40 lap old tires, and they're not patient enough to pass them, so they just run through them. It's just, I don't know, just need more patience out here.
All right, Brandon, looks like we're getting back to getting ready. So good luck out there. Hopefully you come away with the top 10 for us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, even impatience there within the field, and I mean, yeah, understandably so. We'll try once again here as Ryan Lutz will now lead Ethan Burrell on that outside line, with Marcus Frucknick and Gerald Campbell making up that second row. We'll go for this next take of this restart. There you see the early jump from Ryan Lutz here. As Marcus Frucknick now with the advantage to the inside of Ethan Burrell. Aggression here. They're side by side in this first little pack here. Ethan Burrell hanging on the outside, and Ryan Gavel fighting his way back up to try and go for 3rd position.
There might even crash there coming down the back straightaway again. I'm crossing my fingers, hope we can get a couple of green flag laps in here, but Ethan Burrell may be the one that can actually do anything with this 13 and 36 up front. Ryan Gavel, an amazing comeback up to 4th, doing a wonderful job. That one car has been clean since I believe he got moved coming off turn 4. So, yeah, able to kind of move it back up into 4th with that damage. You got to wonder what Ryan Gavel could have done without the damage there. Kind of hunting Ethan Burrell here down the back straightaway.
Yeah, this is a great late race charge here by Ryan Gavel. He's on the back bumper of that 37 car. He's going to try and make this a Lake Norman Motorsports 1, 2, 3. And you see they're trying to get the low exit off of turn 4, trying to get to that bottom lane because it's been so advantageous here tonight. Not quite able to get there. But up front, Marcus Frucknick not letting Ryan Lutz run away with it quite yet there. Still pretty close between those top 2 drivers.
Lutz is really going to have to battle hard here to keep that 4 wins in 4 days title up for grabs. Lutz trying to win all 3 of the main Elite Racing League series in the same week, as well as a special event. Here comes Ryan Gavel for 3rd on Ethan Burrell.
Yeah, he's got that preferred line now. Ethan Burrell knows he's there. He's going to squeeze him down to the bottom, but respectful racing here between the 2 of them. Ryan Gavel, though, once again, that preferred line, he's got to know the head.
Big crash there in turn 1. You saw it on the top of your screen. Not sure who was involved in that one, but more of the same. Here, looks like Damian Leininger was involved. Tate Lytle was involved.
We'll head once again to the iRace Online replay. And the car, I can tell you before we head back, let's see who we can get a picture on it. Same car that seemed to have potentially caused that last caution involved in this one this time around as well. We'll head back to the main screen and show you what we're talking about. There you see the 86 car of Colin Fern on the inside of Damian Leininger. They come together, and that sparks this whole crash sequence.
Man, oh man. Dude, and Tyler Fody involved in that one as well. That's pretty big for the points, but oh man, dude, I am a little, more than a little frustrated with some of these moves getting put on by some of these drivers out on the track. You know, we want to see good racing, green flag runs, and you know, good clean passes, and not guys kind of throwing it in 3 wide for 30th place and door slamming guys for 15th. You know, I really don't like seeing that personally as a broadcaster or as a competitor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, you know, NASCAR has always been a little bit more of the rough and tumble type of racing, I suppose, but still, absolutely, this is kind of some of the moves that have been here have been generally unacceptable. I know, especially up in the administrator's booth, the race control booth, they're trying as much to leave the penalties to drivers on track and dealing with each other there, but man, oh man, some of these things, yeah, I think we've got a lot of avoidable contact that is happening here tonight, and hopefully we're seeing race control taking action for that, whether it's tonight during this race or after tonight.
Looks like they're going to call it netcode as well from the 12 car. So the blinking causing that one, though, I still feel like the move there was a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit too aggressive on behalf of the 46, or excuse me, the 86 car there of Colin Fern, but yeah, that's again, that's the nature of this racetrack, or these types of racetracks. It's sometimes how these races go. It's unfortunate. We don't have that old graphic, and probably for the best, that used to tell us the total number of cautions we've had here tonight, because I'd be afraid to look at that number, to be brutally honest.
As would I. It's been a good number of them. Or maybe not a good number, but a large number of them, as it were.
Absolutely, but either way, I mean, we still got a lot of storylines to talk about tonight. A lot of impressive drives from throughout the field, and guys able to make moves cleanly. I'll add, throughout the field, despite a lot of these short runs. Looking at the likes of Ryan Gavel, looking at Matthew Weeks, Hank Steinmiller, who worked his way up into this top 6 group, David Tooker, who's been all over the track, whether it was up to second place early in the race, fell back to about P15, back inside the top 10. Joshua Clark has been a consistent member of the top 10 there. Chad Frankenfield fell way back down the order after pitting off strategy, back into 10th position. So much variation here in the running order. Andrew Rucker, who was involved in 2 consecutive cautions, running P17. So lots of storylines up and throughout the field that you know, they're positive storylines that we should be talking about. Unfortunately, the overarching theme of this race so far has been just the number of yellow flag laps that we've been running. Hopefully we've put an end to that at some point, but right now we are going to go back to green flag. We're going to try and get 1, 2, maybe 3 laps here completed under green, but this pace truck is going to peel off, and it's once again going to be under the power of Ryan Lutz. He's going to dictate when we go to green, and here we go. Pace truck dives down pit road. Ryan Lutz hits the loud pedal. Keep it in order, guys. Bring us to the finish here. 20 laps. Give us a nice little finish to this race. Marcus Strucknick holds to the outside, tries to go for a move on Ryan Lutz. Not quite able to do it, but he's diving to the bottom. He gets to the inside bumper of Ryan Lutz. Is there going to be a little bit of a nudge from the teammate? No, he's going to back off and give Ryan Lutz the lead for now.
I was interested to see what Ryan Gavel could do right there on that restart, hoping this one car might have something for him. Also, this 31 of Gerald Campbell, maybe he can move up and try to give these Lake Norman boys what for, as looks like we're under caution one more time.
Yes, we are. We've got the 94 car of Kendall Noah Player spun around on the between turns 3 and 4. We'll head back to the iRace Online replay, see what we can spot there. Once again, happens a little bit further in the pack between 2 drivers. We'll take a look and see what happened entering turn 3. There you see that 94 car, and it was Tyler Dixon there who just got into the back of the 94 car, came up into the 8 car, I believe, or was that the 18 of Joshua Personette? It was the 18 of Personette. So yeah, once again, happening a little bit towards the back of the pack there, but yeah, just some aggressive moves once again, I think.
Already heard some some complaints from some of the guys on the other teams there via DM from Tyler Dixon's side. So not super happy with him on that one. Our dual one winner at Daytona, but yeah, just a difficult race here. These guys have really I think just maybe used up all the good karma and good runs the first couple of weeks, and now we're into this. We have about one or two of these a year in the Elite Racing League. Just can't seem to stop crashing. So hopefully we can finish this race up and get back after it next week.
Absolutely, yeah. I think another thing to note absolutely is the patience just starts running out here, especially with how many laps we've run under caution now, guys. Potentially that impatience almost rises with each other, and that just leads to more cautions. So it's tricky, man. It's just a strange situation at some of these tracks, and man, oh man. We're running lap 134 here of 150. We will probably get going here with about 15 laps to go. But yeah, hopefully, once again, I keep saying this as we finish off these cautions, but hopefully we'll take it to the end under green. We'll see what we can do, especially towards the back of the pack. I have to say that the racing, though, up front, the racing that we've had on the camera during live pictures has been exceptional. I mean, these guys have been giving a lot of respect to each other, racing each other hard but fair. There's just been one or two standouts that have unfortunately been ruining the fun for everyone here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've just been a little too aggressive, too far down in the pack is the problem, I think. You're not going to win this race from 30th, and taking them 3 wide for any spot that's not top 10 is probably a bad call in general. So especially at this track, there's no point. There's guys side by side or even in line right in front of you. Just dive bombing them's not going to help you move forward, I don't believe. So we'll have to see how much more the race control is going to take. We haven't seen any action from pretty much anybody or any of these incidents, which is a testament to the way the elite has kind of worked the system. But at this point, the race with 15 or 20 cautions, we're working on probably need to start enforcing that just a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the mantra of this 2021 A season has really been is a more hands-off approach from race control. Let the racers race. And it's worked so far in a lot of the series, though I think tonight has been an example of maybe a situation where some race control, a little bit more race control intervention could potentially get... I mean, there used to be a rule where you're involved in 2 cautions, you're out of the race. I think we could have had a number of cautions potentially avoided with that rule back in effect, but... I mean, we'll see what the actions are taken after this event. Every single race we do is a learning experience here in the Elite Racing Leagues. There's always something new to take from each race, but once again, we're gonna get ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace truck's gonna peel off. Ryan Lutz hits the loud pedal, and here we go. Marcus Frucknicht, what can he do on the outside line? What can Ryan Gavel do from the second position on the inside row? Can he get to the inside of that 13 car? Can he prevent Frucknicht from getting back in line? But right now, it's Lutz speeding out in front as the caution flag is out.
Oh man, that one I don't see any incidents.
I can't even see a car stopped on the tracker, so I can't even tell you what I'd go back and look for. Let's I'll dive into the iRace Online replay, see what we can find here. But that's an interesting one.
Oy. Just been one of those nights where I thought, oh, finally we're gonna get to see a battle. Ryan Gavel's underneath, and then nope. Might have been Joshua Clark, maybe.
It was Joshua Clark, and
oh my goodness.
I can tell you who else was involved in it.
Oh my goodness, what is that move? Look, guys, I'm not biased or anything, but that's a terrible move, guys. Come on, what are you doing? Can't win from 10th. What is that?
Yeah, gosh. Definitely. I'm sure frustration in the in the lobby itself. It's easy to get frustrated. There's such tight quarters. We see, I mean, you talk about short tracks all the time. The tempers beginning to flare there. Colin Fern involved in the last 3 cautions that we've had here on track. So it's certainly been not the coverage that he's wanted to get here on television. It's been aggressive moves from him. He's been trying to move forward. We'll see once again how race control reacts to the moves that are being made on track and what can be done to help prevent races like this in the future. We are about to tick over to lap 140, which means we're going to get to we're going to restart with less than 10 laps to go here in this race.
God almighty, man. Amazing. Well, Ryan Lutz is still in position to capture his 4th consecutive Elite Racing win. That certainly is a big motivator to kind of finish this one out. You certainly want to see this 36 car make that dream happen. The history, I suppose, of the Elite Racing League. With all this talent, which we do have, not a lot of it kind of hidden behind some decision making tonight. All the talent we've got, no one's ever run 3 consecutive races in our 3 series and won them all. And Ryan Lutz trying to do that tonight in one single week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an impressive run for this 36 car, without a doubt. I mean, even if he doesn't, come out of tonight with the race win, still to have led as many laps as he has over the course of this week, to have won 3 of the 4, if that is what ends up happening, or 4 of the 4, it's still been an impressive week from this 36 car. Just the momentum has absolutely been on his side. He's getting everything together here, whether it was on the big 2-mile track at Auto Club, whether it was at the short tracks at Iowa, or here at the mile-long intermediate of the Milwaukee Mile here. So it's been a bunch of different tracks. We were obviously at Gateway as well last night, so again, another intermediate track, but again, a very different intermediate track. So it really hasn't been, this was short track week, we expected Ryan Lutz to dominate. He's won at every different type of track we could possibly go to here on the calendar, so it's been impressive in that aspect as well.
Yep, 2-mile track on Sunday, a 0.75 mile track on Monday, a 1.25 mile track, and then a 1-mile track today. So Ryan Lutz just absolutely dominant and impressive, and every which way he could be good, he has been good. We also do need to maybe think about the pain of the race here for these last 9 laps. If we get another caution, we can maybe address that one.
Absolutely. We've certainly potentially got the time on our hands to go through the field and think about it. I'm certainly a fan. I think the 2 that we mentioned earlier, the 31 and the 1, have both been interesting. I know that 1 is more of a season-long paint. 31, I don't know. That's the first time I've seen it, but we can discuss that when the race is done or when we have another caution, because Ryan Lutz hits the loud pedal once again. Ryan Gavel to his rear bumper, this time much closer alongside the Marcus Frucknick, but Frucknick dives into the inside, but Gavel is there this time. We've got a great battle going on for second, and for Ryan Lutz, he once again loves to see this. He's able to pull a gap, but look at this battle for second place between Marcus Frucknick and Ryan Gavel, teammates, as Gerald Campbell hoping to get in on the fun as well.
Man, we haven't seen Ryan Gavel able to pull this much speed out yet today. He's on it down the front straightaway. He clears Marcus Frucknick. Ryan Gavel into second. Frucknick into the wall. I don't know if he just got loose there or what. And Gerald Campbell into third. Campbell at the track, and now they crash behind him.
Hank Steinmiller up into the wall there as the caution flag comes out once again there. We'll head back, but great move by Ryan Gavel to get himself up into second place. Big shout out there. Gerald Campbell as well passes Marcus Frucknick to grab third before the caution flag comes out.
Wow.
So big implications. Gerald Campbell potentially in the best position right now to challenge Ryan Lutz at the next restart. But we'll head back here, see what happened to Hank Steinmiller. Looks like he kind of got pushed out wide there into the wall, but the replay will tell all.
I don't know if that should have been a caution either. Steinmiller slid sideways and then kept on going. No one else was affected. Man, what? Okay.
Yeah, that's I'm not sure how they'll call that. Looks like Steinmiller coming down in front of Chad there. I don't know if Chad had much room to go in there, but could also be called a racing incident there.
You could call that a racing incident, but at some point, the guy's come down in front of you. He's already there. I just think these guys can cut each other a little bit more break. Yeah, Steinmiller probably shouldn't have thrown the block either. It's probably on both of them there, but you can get out of the gas and let him have a little bit of room in the corner and attack again in 2 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's ways. This isn't a momentum track, right? Where if you mess up a move, you're gonna, lose your pace for, the next 3-4 laps where you build it back up. You can very quickly, regain a lot of time in just one braking zone if you do mess up a move or something like that. So, there isn't a need to be this desperate in terms of moves throughout the field, and that's just an unfortunate theme that we're seeing throughout this field, throughout this race, is guys making desperate last-ditch moves when they really shouldn't be. When there's chances to make those moves at later points in the race, it's going to be a learning experience for all of these drivers in the field.
I don't even know about learning experience. I feel like last season's champion should know a little bit better than to just haul it off in the corner when you've already been blocked. Man, just tough to comment. We know all these guys very closely, and these guys are great. And we put on a ton of good races, guys. We have 84 lead changes in the Daytona 500, and I think 4 or 5 cautions total in that race. These guys know how to race. They know how to put on a good race. I really do want to see, kind of a better performance, especially because we're going to Bristol soon, and that's the kind of place that you've got to give and take a little more, and we need to see that throughout the field a little bit better, I think, going forward on these shorter tracks.
Absolutely, 100% there, and it's, I don't know quite what it is that brings this out. I mean, it is funny you mentioned it right there. I mean, Daytona 500, 84 lead changes, 4 or 5 cautions. I mean, generally Daytona 500 is regarded as one of the most crash-heavy races in the season, and sure, the couple of cautions we have sometimes have some pretty significant incidents in it, but I mean, for the majority of it, the guys do such a great job of just keeping that kind of racing clean. They do a great job on the larger tracks. It's when we get down to these smaller tracks, when the quarters are just that little bit tighter, that things start to fall apart.
Yeah, and this track is definitely, we've covered it today, a lot. We've been on the air for over 2 hours now for a 150 lap event. This track is tough. We know this track is tough. We covered it from the start of the show all the way through today. Exiting these corners, these guys have to be careful. Entering the corners, they're going to be on the brakes. There's not going to be a whole lot of room. We knew this going in, and we're sitting up here in the booth. We want to see a little more from the drivers, I think.
Yeah, for sure, but we're gonna come back to green flag racing with 3 laps to go. So fingers crossed we make it to the checker this time, or we will have a green-white checker attempt. This will not count as our green-white checker attempt. We only get 1 here in the Elite Racing League. So can Ryan Lutz get it done? Can he do the sweep? Can he complete the sweep of 4 race wins from 4 races in a week? Or can his teammate Ryan Gavel spoil the party? Can Gerald Campbell bring that 31 car back to victory lane? So many stories inside this top 4-5 cars. Matthew Weeks back up the order. Pace truck is off. Ryan Lutz is back on the throttle here. It's a slow restart on the outside lane for Ryan Gavel here. Can he hold off the charging Gerald Campbell? I don't think he can. It's going to be Gerald Campbell to second position, and he's going to be the man chasing down our leader, Ryan Lutz, to try and go for this race of victory. But Lutz is already 3-4 car lengths out in front, with now, as we come to 2 laps to go, Ryan Lutz in the lead, and Gerald Campbell fending off this snarling pack of monsters.
What a restart for Ryan Lutz. Just an absolutely magnificent job. And car slowing in the back. Nope, the caution is out again.
Green-white checker.
We will get a green-white checkered. Oh, boy. Oof. Man, I guess it's expected. I don't know. It's something about it. These guys just don't seem to want to kind of just relax and run, finish this race up. Everyone's just trying to win the race from 20th, 30th, 15th, wherever.
Yeah, it's something else tonight. I think certainly, and we apologize up in the booth if it's a little impatient. I'm sure a lot of you at home are a little impatient with some of the results that we're seeing here from this race. A lot of it comes from the fact that we know a lot of these drivers are capable of much better than what's happening here in this race, and it's just there's just unfortunate situations that keep presenting themselves here at this racetrack, and a lot of them are certainly avoidable. We'll take a look at what happened here. It was Jordan Owens in that 16 car who got involved there. Looks like he got pinched maybe on the bottom there with, I think it was Damon Leininger.
Looks like he got bumped into there. Jordan, I mean, called Jordan Owens' name all day long. It's, you know.
And
called
for
him all day
tonight,
long,
that's a
and
good thing.
Yeah, and he's been clean all night, and gets dumped here late in this one. It's frustrating.
Absolutely.
And for what it's worth, if we want to go take a look at it, there was an incident in turn 1 as well involving the 15 and the 11 on that last restart.
All right, let's.
Not sure you want to. You know, it's another. I saw that one coming on the restart, and it's a little frustrating to watch, but we can definitely take a look at it here for the Matthew Weeks fans and the Chad Frankenfield fans.
Absolutely, we'll head back here and take a look and see what happened between the two of these drivers. You said it was on the restart.
Yeah, right into turn 1.
Alrighty, we'll head back here as Ryan Lutz just sets sail. Here you see Chad Frankenfield, Matthew Weeks right in front of him. Frankenfield to the bottom of Matthew Weeks, and yeah, just gets into the side of that 11 car, but 11 car straightens it out, loses some track position there, but yeah, once again, a little bit aggressive. We even have a car around there, so yeah, just a pretty hectic return back to green flag racing there as we did head back to yellow flag, and what we can say for sure this time is that this will be the final caution of the night, because we have a rule in elite racing leagues where there is just one green-white checker. For this very reason, we had a race that ran 7 green-white checkers at Pocono, and that was certainly, I think, the last straw for many people in terms of late race restarts. So we have just one green-white checker in effect in elite racing leagues nowadays. This will be the one attempt at one. If a caution flag comes out, the race will be declared on the spot. So basically, the next flag that comes after that green flag waves will decide the race.
Yep, and Ryan Lutz is absolutely in the catbird seat here. You know, 4 in a row. All he needs to do is go for it here, and then hope that one of these guys doesn't get a little bit better restart than him. But he's been in control all race. The one thing is that he's been going in the exact same time. When the pace car immediately enters pit road, that's when Ryan Lutz gets on the pedal. If I'm Ryan Gavel or Gerald Campbell, as soon as I see that pace car start to turn, I get on the gas and go and hope that I don't get a penalty and try to take Ryan Lutz into turn 1 as close as I can get him.
Yeah, it's advantage Ryan Gavel. He's got the chance right now. It's whoever starts right behind that leader has the advantage. So yeah, right now it is Ryan Gavel. He's got the best shot at taking on Ryan Lutz, but he's going to have to put in a monster effort here to get to this 36 car. Pace truck is off for the final time tonight as Ryan Lutz hits the gas pedal, and we're back underway for the final green flag waving here tonight. Ryan Lutz once again leads into turn 1. It's aggressive, though, between Marcus Frucknicht and Ryan Gavel through turn 1. Is that the caution flag out? I believe it is, and the race has been declared. Ryan Lutz will win here at the Milwaukee Mile as we've got cars spinning out behind. Unfortunate that it'll end here under caution. We will run, I think, the final couple laps here under caution. 1 to go for Ryan Lutz. Still needs to be commendable, the effort that he put in over the course of this week. 1 on Sunday night with a great battle against the likes of R.C. Anderson and Matthew Weeks. 1 on Monday night fighting against R.C. Anderson once again at Iowa. 1 against professional drivers, and a pretty ballsy strategy call last night at the WWT Speedway. And to cap it off, for the 4th night in a row, Ryan Lutz will round corner 4, unfortunately under the yellow flag, behind the pace truck this time, but Ryan Lutz is victorious at the Milwaukee Mile. Ryan Gavel will round out the top 2, make it a 1-2 finish here for Lake Norman Motorsports. Celebrations, I'm sure, are in order for those 2 cars. And Gerald Campbell, what a run to 3rd position there, breaking up a Lake Norman 1-2-3 with Marcus Frucknicht, the longtime leader, finishing 4th, Ethan Burrell in 5th.
Yeah, man, my goodness, we'll get those guys in as soon as we can here. But you know, Ryan Lutz is going to want to do some burnouts. And, a long night from the Milwaukee Mile, a tough race for sure, but we did kind of expect as much. And wow, take a look at that top 10. Dustin Dewart, we saw him spin it around. He ends up 10th.
Yeah,
Great
I
comeback.
was going to point that out. A very impressive run by him. I mean, definitely a very mixed up field here. As congratulations are in order there for Ryan Lutz. We'll finish out that top 30 there as the celebrations are certainly in order. Here we go, Ryan Lutz. 4th win of the week from 4 races. This 36 car. What is it going to take to stop him?
Now, and we'll see. It's Ryan Lutz. His biggest thing is when Ryan Lutz beats himself. Not many drivers in here are always going to beat him, but when he can put it all together, he does so, and he's one of the best we have in this league. Real quick before we get into the final podium drivers here, before we get Ryan Lutz in, which one of these two that we're going to talk to is going to be pain of the race?
So here's my thought process is I'd like to give it to Gerald Campbell here because this is the first time I think we've seen that particular paint scheme. Ryan Gavel, I have a feeling we can give that to him in the future because I know he'll be running that scheme for the rest of the season. That's kind of my logic there. Is if this is a one-off scheme, I'd like to give it the appreciation it deserves.
Sounds good to me. So let's bring Gerald Campbell in to talk to him here. Gerald, congratulations on finishing 3rd, and congratulations on winning paint of the race. We went ahead and gave that to you as well. Did you have anything for Ryan Lutz there at the end if they had maybe gone green?
I don't know. I don't know what anyone had for each other at the end. It wasn't. It was a drag race every caution. So it's just depending on how you got through the field, through the cautions, and through those short restarts. So to come home 3rd, I'm happy with that. I knew I was in trouble on that last restart whenever those teammates were all lined up on the bottom line, and I knew they were going to time that restart together, and I was like, I just got to do whatever I can to just try to stay to the outside. Came home 3rd. I was hoping for a little bit better there at the end, but a lot of other people had a lot worse nights, I think. So I'll take it. And yeah, great paint job, isn't it? I love it. It's a throwback to my old racing days on my old colors. So this will be my day paint job, and the chrome really sparkles on it.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, congratulations on that paint of the race. I thought that was it really stood out to me. I love that. I think your diecast dude schemes, the 3 of them that we've seen, I think have all been unbelievably good. So big shout out there to whoever does those for you. But again, top 3 finish here tonight, man. We're missing seeing you here fighting for these wins. It was a great kind of return to some of the races we've seen in the past here. It's been a little while in the Cup Series, especially. What's changed for you to find that momentum back, and can you carry that through the rest of the season?
I changed my attitude. The first season I won the championship. I was all aggression. Didn't care about tire savings, and back then with the tire, how they was a lot more forgiving with such things. And then last season, everyone knows these tires are off. Their iRacing has them where they're not as good, and the fall off is just so bad to where you can't really race those first few laps. And for me, that's hard for me because I'm a very aggressive, very hard to pass kind of person. And last season just wasn't my nature, and it suffered. I was running back in like 15th and 16th and 20th, trying to save tires, thinking, all right, now can I go and race? And it just never played out, and it hurt my performance. And so far this season, 11, 6th, and a 3rd to start off the season, a lot better than last season. And I got my number back. I went 48 for Jimmy Johnson's throwback scheme for the diecast dude, which is an amazing Twitter page for you guys to go and follow and watch after the race and everything. He does a lot of diecast showings and things like that. But yeah, I went with that, and I just never really felt comfortable last season. This season, I went back to my old nature where I'm going to be everyone's worst nightmare when they have to try to figure out how to get around me. And you would think that would put me in more bad positions, but I think it does quite the opposite because I feel like I have more control of my own destiny whenever I can be aggressive and know when to give a position up rather than just trying to float to the back and try to work my way back up. I think that working way back up is 50-50 if it works out or if you get in a wreck. And it really paid off today because a lot of people that were floating to the back trying to save their tires got caught up in a lot of stuff, and the guys that were super aggressive. I mean, you look at the top few people up here; these are aggressive people. And I think that played into today's race. It was the aggression was what got you up front. So yeah, I hope to keep on doing what I feel is best for myself for these next few races.
All right, thanks, Gerald. I think you also kind of shouted out everyone you needed to there, but anybody else?
Yeah, no, IRAPS did my paint job. I love these paint jobs that I do, and like I said, I really fell in love with this one. This one was kind of to my heart, so I just kind of went with my heart on this one. This was, like I said, a throwback to my racing days. But thanks, PRC. We got we got someone up there at least. So every week we just work to try to make sure our drivers can get up there, and more than anything, regardless of finish, regardless of anything, we just enjoy each other's time. And thank you guys. Thanks for anyone that stuck around for that. I'm sure a lot of people are ready to go to bed, so I'm going to let you guys go, and hopefully I get to talk to you again someday.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's your third place finisher. Then Gerald Campbell, great result. Great seeing that 31 car back inside the top 3. We'll bring in second place Ryan Gavel. Then Dave, if you can pull him up.
Trying to. There he is, Ryan Gavel, second place. Do you have anything for Ryan Lutz if they had gone green, buddy?
Man, I don't know. He was stout out there. I gotta congratulate him. That's 4 in a row. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, he has had an awesome week with these tracks playing into his hand. But I don't know if I would have had anything for him. I definitely had some speed. I messed up in qualifying and started I think 32nd. Drove all the way up into the top 10 by like lap 50, and then got spun. Went to the rear. I think I was 36th, and then drove from 36 and into second. I don't know how I did that with the sort of small amount of green flag laps we had, and I had some good a good pit stop there at the end that gave me a few stops. But yeah, it was definitely a really good race for me.
Yeah, man, you mentioned falling back there. I mean, you had that damage you had to carry throughout the race. I mean, talk us through. It was an up and down race for you. You had really great strong pace towards at the start of the race, got involved in that incident, and then drove your way back to finish second. Impressive result, but how much did that damage, you think, overall cripple you? Do you think you could have attacked your teammate Ryan Lutz there if you didn't have that damage?
I don't know. I mean, it was pretty minor for a track like this. Damage, you can get away with it, and it was all in the back bumper, so I wasn't down on power or anything, which helped. So I think it definitely affected it a little bit. It was like 25 seconds optional because I got the back bumper into the tires or into the barrels there on the pit entry, but I think it didn't hurt me too bad. I think either way, Lutz was faster than me, but the fact that I was able to get up to second after falling well outside of the top 30 and starting outside of the top 30, that was probably one of my best drives in this series here in the past 2 seasons I've been running. That's up there. That was definitely one of my best drives.
Yeah, Ryan. It was really impressive watching you come all the way through the field. We thought you had a chance for him last night as well, and you got taken out. So we're looking forward to getting you up here for a win. Do you have any people you want to shout out?
Yeah, I just want to thank all my friends and family for watching. Yeah, last night was a little rough. I was hoping for another good finish there, but kind of took myself out. But good thing for the one that really matters here tonight in the Cup Series, we got it done. But yeah, I got to thank friends and family for watching. Got to thank Chad and all the admins for running the league. I know it was a tough night, but I'm sure we'll be better going down into the future. I know Watkins Glen next week. That's another track that'll play into my favor. I do pretty well on the road courses, so yeah, hoping for another good run. I'm on a good streak here. I think that's 3 for 3 on top 10s, and that's 2 straight top 5 finishes. So hopefully we can keep a top 5 streak going now, but being really consistent and hoping to get a win. Maybe next week, Watkins Glen, we can get it done.
All right, man. Well, great run once again tonight here. Again, pretty up and down, but great result at the end of it. And yeah, best of luck in the future, but celebrate this one.
Sure thing. Thank you.
All right, that was your second place finisher, Ryan Gavel, and bring in our race winner, man. 4 from 4, Ryan Lutz. Congratulations, dude.
Thanks, man. I can't believe it. We weren't that good. Marcus had us covered for sure, and we were just I figured we'd just run second. I didn't think we were that good, and the caution started falling, and I was like, man, we might have a shot at this. And we could never get in the right line to even see if we had something, but it was the line was so dependent here on the bottom. So once you got on the outside, you either burned up or you just got too far out there. And I knew once we put stickers on, man, I was like, we're going as hard as we can, and if we wreck, we wreck. And we were 3 wide, I think, twice, and I knew that was the one time to get in front of Marcus to have a shot at it. And once we did that, and Chad came to pit road, I was like, this is our race to lose. And we just hung on, and I can't believe it.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm a little bit surprised you weren't the fastest and most dominant car so far today. But hey, I mean, big congratulations. I mean, making history as far as we're concerned. Nobody's ever done this, winning 3 elite races all in a row, and you did it all at 3 different tracks. I guess, how do you think that kind of comes together when you're winning races at every type of track? I mean, what chance does everybody else have?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I go into every race and just see if we can run in the top 5. Auto Club on Wednesday was a really good race for us. I knew we were good because I actually do enjoy that track, and we hung on for a win there. I was one of my favorite tracks, and we were really good there. And then last night was that pro event, so at Gateway, that's a good track for me as well. So we were really good in that one too. But we had a gutsy pit call at the end and just really hung on. And this one, we weren't as good. This tire model is a little bit different. This is a hard track with the 750 load blade package, but it's with these races, man. They're so. I know I'll make it look easy, but these races are so hard to win, and I'm just so fortunate enough to lock myself in all 3 of them, and win the pro invitational with some tickets to Gateway. We'll be going there again this summer, and just it's been a surreal week, man. I can't believe it. This is probably the most meaningful thing I've ever done on iRacing for sure.
It's been an impressive run. I did want to ask you one more thing about tonight, though, before we let you go and celebrate, man. It was a tricky one on track. I know there's already some discussion underway about what happened tonight. I mean, just talk us through your thought process, especially once you took over that lead position. Every time a caution flag came out, I mean, what was going through your head? Are you frustrated by that? As a driver, are you hoping it stays green? You were talking about maybe not necessarily being the fastest guy out there. Were you thankful? I mean, that gave you a huge advantage being the first guy restarting. I mean, being the first guy on a restart is a lot to bear, and having that happen almost 20 times is the report we're hearing. It's got to be something else when you're out there on track.
Yeah, in the beginning it was frustrating because I thought we were gonna be the best car, and Marcus is my buddy in real life. We go to the racetrack together all the time, and he lives, I don't know, an hour or 2 from me in Connecticut. I've known him for the last 10 years of my life, so he's a really good friend of mine. And when we fired off there, he was just really good. And I'm like, all right, he'll come back to us. He'll come back to us here. I saw him getting free. I saw him getting loose, and he just never did. And we were just like, all right, we're kind of just stuck here. And we came down pit road, and we started getting the cycle of cautions, and I'm like, you know what, I think whoever gets to the point is going to win the race. And in my eyes, I like the cautions. I was cheering for cautions every time because I wasn't as good as him. But for his standpoint, oh yeah, he was really upset in the Discord, But I've been on that side too. There's been a lot of races. I can count 10 races back in Elite that I lost from that same standpoint, and it sucks. It's one of the worst feelings because there's nothing you can do. If I ride under caution, you're just steaming, hoping you can get a long run. Hopefully everyone can keep it together, and it's the most frustrating thing you can do. But from my standpoint, I took, I was a little bit, more aggressive, got the track position, and I was hoping we didn't get one in green flag lapping, to be honest with you. But, once we did get a couple laps, then I knew just, getting in the corners, hit your mark, straight exits off, and I think we're a little bit better than him. He got burned up on the outside there, but at the end, we had a really good car, and I think we had the best tires of everyone because I could get that, that drive off turn 2. But just it was a hard track. This tire model's tough. With this, I knew when we went to Milwaukee, it was going to be tough in the Cup car. It's got no grip. There's no crutch coming off the corner. It's all in the right rear, and some of these guys, it's tough to do. With 49 guys out there or 39 guys out there, but this one means a lot.
Yeah, Ryan, you got it. Anybody else you want to shout out there, buddy?
Oh yeah, man. You, Rich, you, David, you guys do an awesome broadcast. Chad, what can you say about Chad, man? He works his butt off for everyone here. The Pro Invitational was awesome yesterday. every league race is awesome that you can come out here and run against 40 good guys. And just everyone at Lake Norman, Gavel had an awesome run. Bodie struggled tonight. Marcus was really impressive. Damien, man, what can you say about him? He don't have that much luck, right? He got tore up, but he was certainly a P3 car, and just everyone that puts this thing on there. Spotter Wilkes, Brandon Wilkes, he came on the board. He's been a family friend of mine for a long time, and he decided to sponsor us tonight. PFC Brakes with Chris Dilbeck Racing. He does a lot for me. Michael Goodman and Miss Goodies Goodies. Really, my girlfriend. Under caution, I was pretty upset with myself. I didn't think we would get it done, and she kept me honest. She kept me motivated and confident in it, and we were able to get it done. And just everyone that puts this deal on there, man, it's just so much fun. Natural Designs, Unlimited Contracting, just everyone that puts time on, man. It's this one 4 in a row means a lot.
All right, man. Well, once again, congratulations, and we're gonna let you go here and enjoy this one, man. Congratulations, 4 wins from 4 races and all in 1 week. Great job. There you go. That's your race winner. Then Ryan Lutz here, victorious once again in the Elite Racing Leagues. Man, David, it was a long race here tonight, but we got to the end of it, and I mean, what a historic. Ultimately, I think there'll be, when we look back on this race, sure, there'll be a lot of talk on the cautions and difficulties we had, but also certainly a lot of talk about what Ryan Lutz has accomplished this week in winning 4 races in a week and in 4 straight nights, and yeah, just an impressive drive by him, and that really should be the talk coming out of this event.
Yeah, I think we got to focus on Ryan Lutz there. We start thinking about other stuff, and we're gonna get frustrated. But all I can say is let's look forward to next week. We have 3 more great races for the Elite Racing League. We've got several amazing tracks coming up. It's gonna be fun. Tune back in, but yeah, we certainly tonight was not the brightest of nights.
No, it certainly wasn't, but still, great result by the end of it. A lot of great individual drives throughout the field. I think a lot of drivers certainly need to be pointed out. The likes of Ryan Lutz, Ryan Gavel, Gerald Campbell making that comeback. You look at David Tooker had an up and down day. Josh Adams drove his way up. Vincent Isabella, Dustin Dewar both finishing in that top 10. There are lots of names to be proud of the runs they had here tonight, but we've held you guys who've been watching for maybe just a little bit too long here tonight. So those of you who have been with us all night, we want to thank you once again from the bottom of our hearts for tuning into the Elite Racing Network. It's always a pleasure to bring you all the action, but that's all for tonight. We'll be back on Friday night for the IndyCar League. Myself and Mark Gillespie will be covering that race at Long Beach, so tune in for that. But for tonight, from David Westergreen and myself, Rishabh Khosla, thank you all so much for tuning in, and have a great night.